It's Mick in Memphis. Charles in East Tennessee. Light it up.
And the talk gets high, cut the cell phone, kill the grind, leave that week far behind. Ice in the glass, smoke in the air, good folks gather from everywhere. Mick and Charles got the whole room lit, one more round, and we're into it. If you know, then you know, that old school glow. Raise it up, let it roll, it's the place we go. The Real Smoke Podcast. Thursday night, don't miss that. Mick and Charles bring it all back. Real talk, real laughs, real flash. The Real Smoke Podcast. Pour it slow, light it fast. Premium nights and the whole world taps. Thursday night, we're all in that. Woo! Fine whiskey burn, slow and smooth. Big guess words in the killer mood. Cigar and red in the dark. Every story leaves a mark. Friends in the chat, friends in the room, same good vibes, same boom, boom, boom. Southern soul and a modern sound. Every Thursday we're coming down. If you need that shine, you know the time. Eastern 8, don't be late. Come on in, it's prime. The Real Smoke Podcast. Thursday night, don't miss that. Mick and Charles bring it all back. Real talk, real laughs, real flash. The Real Smoke Podcast. Pour it slow, light it fast. Premium nights and the whole world taps. Thursday night, we're all in this. Let it catch, watch it circle slow. Whiskey in the rocks, let the amber glow. Put the work week down, let the shoulders drop. Clock out, cool off, let the real talk pop. Mick and Charles on deck, yeah, they run that flame. Thursday night family, everybody knows the name. One more pull, one more spark, let the good time start. Real smoke in the room, got the whole place hard. Hands up high, let it ring. Hear that room start to sing. Every face, every frame.
This episode may contain strong language, weak opinions, bad advice, and men speaking confidently about things they only half understand. Statements made should not be considered factual, morally sound, especially if they are drinking. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Real Smoke Podcast with your hosts, Mick and Charles, the podcast that's all about real people, real cigars, and real smoke. Coming to you live from the Real Smoke Virtual Cigar Lounge, bringing you the best of cigars, whiskey, and all the good times in between. It's more than just a podcast, it's a community of cigar lovers. So grab your favorite smoke, pour a drink, and join us as we dive into all things cigars, whiskey, and just having a damn good time. This is the Real Smoke Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode... Wait, they can't see us. Oh, no. What's going on?
What happened?
I don't believe what's going on.
It's nice graphic.
Actually, I do.
Oh.
By the way, what's up, Mick?
What's
Don't
up,
worry
man?
about that right now. Whatever. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 87 of Real Smoke Podcast. We are your hosts. That is the man from the Pennsylvania thing. Fucker had to leave. Oh.
Much love, man.
Wasn't a little too early, man. Anyways.
Black and yellow.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, shush. Hey, Norm, all them people, we got to say hi. What's up, Norm?
Don't be that guy that does this stupid shit at the cigar lounge. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't be that guy. That guy, right there. Don't be him.
I'm really excited to smoke this.
Do not do that with community cutters. Do that shit with your own crap.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, I had to leave that one in for this week, but I forgot you were not in the green room. You were filing paperwork.
I was. Had a quick
you-
last minute
you-
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great decision. So
It was
I
just-
started playing our old music because I had it planned that it was going to say the whole Mick in Memphis, Charles in East Tennessee, just to get the expression on your face. And then when I looked down to see your expression, oh, he's gone. So completely blew that one up.
I'm sorry. What happened? Was that me?
It's
Is it you?
Yeah, you froze. My
is it me?
internet's
I have
doing
full
very
signal.
well, but I will say this does give us a chance to go ahead and say, these technical difficulties brought to you by KD Cigars. We haven't even got the freaking episode started, and it's already turned into one of them days. So, hey, what's up, Katie? Anyways, let's
I don't think
Let's
I
talk
froze
about it.
once last night when we were on with Big Al. That's crazy. I don't know what happened.
I think so too.
I had full internet. I don't know. No, man, happy Thursday, brother.
Happy Thursday. Happy first podcast from a new location, from an undisclosed location,
Yes, sir.
somewhere in the hills of Pennsylvania, where obviously
Right by
they
you.
don't have internet, or their internet is worse than Newport, Tennessee.
I don't understand. We did a whole episode last night with Big Al, and I did not freeze once. So I don't know what's going on. It shows that I'm saying it's you, man. I don't know. Maybe it's you. I don't know.
Wouldn't
No.
freeze on your end.
No, I'm excited, man. It feels like a new old beginning. We're further apart, but yet I get to see you every Thursday, man, and Tuesdays. But no, I'm
Yeah.
excited about the new room, excited about the new job, excited about seeing family a lot more often. Me and the daughter sat in the living room last night till almost midnight, just catching up and chatting in person, and that's something that we haven't been able to do for the last 3 years. And it hurt
That's
a little
really
bit getting up for work this morning, but it was great.
Oh, I bet.
Nice to be home.
Looks like everybody in the chat is rocking and rolling. Guys, in the chat, make sure that you do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. If you got your hashtags ready to put in tonight, what is our hashtag, sir?
Tonight's prizes are Real Smoke, hashtag Real Smoke, for anybody who has not won this month, which is everyone because it's a new month. And hashtag Real Smoke Pat for all of our Patreons for $5 a month. You can join Patreon. Less than a cup of coffee. And it all comes back to you.
That's a nice little segue. Why don't you go ahead and talk about it?
Why not? So join the Real Smoke Ashtray Illuminati. 15% off a cigar vault anytime you want. One sticker pack, a shout out on IG, name on the show credits, members only Discord, ask questions to guests, sneak peek at guests, enter to win a quarterly prize pack, ability to attend our monthly Zoom herp, which we are having one this month. It was my fault last month. And ability to talk with and ask questions on the Zoom herp. So yeah, we're every week we're out here talking about the Patreon. Every penny goes back to you guys. So spend $5, you're going to get at least that back in return. There's so many good things. If you missed out last month, we gave away a beautiful 13 knives cutter. We gave away a great 5-pack. We have another 5-pack coming that we're going to be doing a giveaway on. So become part of Patreon.
Well,
it's going to pay you back.
You're doing so good today. You're leading into all the segues. So let's go
Segue
ahead
guy.
and talk about the 5-pack.
So the
Our
first
Liberty
5-pack,
5-pack.
yeah, the Liberty 5-pack. Right there it is. You got a Tatuaje, a Crowned Heads, a Red Meat Lovers, Johnny Tobacco, not the new Maduro, and a Visa Alapa by Cavalier. And yeah, that 5-pack, amazing. We collaborated with Smoke In on that. And we are giving another one of those away. And we're going to make this one super simple. We're going to put it out this weekend on Instagram. So look for that. Pretty simple. We're just going to have you make sure you're following us, following Smoke In Cigars. And you're going to tag 5 people that may not know who we are. Like, we want you to tag your grandmother or your grandfather or your sister or some guy you met around the corner. Who knows? Anyone who has no clue who we are. We don't want you to tag a bunch of cigar lovers because they probably have seen us around by now. Tag somebody that don't know who we are, because we're not just doing cigar podcasts anymore. We're doing fun, get out of your normal day podcast. So anyway, tag 5 people and yeah, you're entered to win. It's going to be pretty simple. And
Well, speaking of Smoke In, let's go ahead and do this one. Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club, we want to say a big thanks to them. If you haven't signed up with them, it is that price right there, and you'll get 5 awesome cigars every month. If you use the code RSNEW on your first order, you're going to get a free Smoke In torch lighter and a perfect cutter. We've been with them for over a year now, and we love what they are putting out. And they obviously kind of like what we're doing because they're willing to test this little podcast out to see how they would do on their own little 5-pack. And, you know, I hope we're doing pretty well.
We're getting there.
But go check that one out right there.
Absolutely.
So what else is going on? We had some excitement last night.
Oh, yeah, we did. We had a good time last night.
What did we do? You seem very chill and reserved.
I am.
Have you already started drinking?
So I had a little going away party for a guy at work, and I may have had a few beers ahead of time. I am pretty chill, but I think it's the room because there's no geese distracting me, no locusts. You may hear a train at some point, but
Sir, I need you to stop and bring the energy tonight. Do not make me come. Wait, I can't come over there. Don't make me verbally lash out at you on the internet.
Okay, I'll try to bring it up a little bit. I'll try to bring it up. But no, last night.
Let's talk about last night and give a shout out to a good old friend of ours.
Yeah, we've been actually talking about this for a while, and why did my computer just give me an error message? If I disappear, I'm sorry. So you son of a. There it is. Okay,
anyways, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so Big Al asked us a little while ago to do the Howling with. He's laughing at me over there. Yeah, it is. Ask us to do a show with him at some point. He's trying to, the Burn Line Brotherhood, Big Al. He's trying to do kind of highlight other podcasts, and we give shout outs as well, and we collaborate with a lot of them. We love what Big Al does when he brings on people that we love in this industry. But it was just Big Al and the two of us. We're all 3 TriStar members. That's how we really met and kind of started our conversation. It was kind of weird being on that side of the questioning. He kind of talked about how we got together, Charles and I, and started the podcast and became great friends. And kind of all of our origin stories kind of tied into one in one neat little weave. So he did a great job with it. Check that out. If you haven't, follow them, subscribe to them on YouTube, and give that show a watch. Let us know what you think. I think it was pretty cool.
I'm willing to make it a little more spicy.
Okay.
So I really want this episode with us that he was so nice to have us on. I want that to be his #1 podcast that he puts out for the entire year. He's only got 5 months left, 4 months left, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to do this. I need everybody in the Real Smoke atmosphere. Whether you're a Patreon member, whether you're a casual listener, if this is your first time listening, I want you to go look them up on YouTube. Go look up the Burn Line Brotherhood podcast. Yep. Go like and put a comment. Every comment that's on that episode next week when we come on here, I'm going to pick a name and I'm going to send out a 5-pack or a 10-pack of cigars.
Okay.
Random cigars. Whatever I pull out the humidor, I'm going to send 10 of them out there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be live to win. You don't have to be here on that episode to win. We'll post it out there, but I need you to go over to the Burn Line Brotherhood podcast on YouTube. Go like it or go subscribe to it. Go like the episode and go comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. Help push his numbers up there.
While you're there, at least watch part of it. It was a great episode. 3 fun guys. So take a look at it. Let us know what you think. And when you put a comment, let us know what you think. I think it was a great episode, and Al does a good job on that kind of stuff. He really breaks it down, and he even stole some of our taglines. So we'll flip it around on him someday.
We'll have to. We'll get him on here sometime and do that.
We'll cartwheel back and talk to him about it. Yeah.
Yep, we'll do that one. One more thing to go ahead and go and at least depress you even more, because I know that you're looking for a good day. It is the Braves and the Phillies competition, the Still Austin Challenge. Braves currently are sitting at 73-48. Oh man, that's a good record right there. And the Phillies are currently at a 64-58. Not as good, but Braves are doing pretty good right now. So again, give it time. Both teams will probably make the playoffs. Braves will lose first round. Phillies will go do what they usually do. They'll make it a little bit further, but we ain't worried about playoffs. This is regular season scores.
I got your bottle on side, bro. It's been an ugly year as a Phillies fan, so I got you.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and close out what we normally do in the beginning. Let's start skipping over to our friend that's waiting for us impatiently in the background, flipping us off, being mean to us, mouthing that he hates us. Why is he still here? He says, I don't know. Wow. He's got issues with us right now. But we do need to talk about the cigar that we're smoking tonight, as well as bring on our guest. So tonight's cigar that we are smoking is brought to you by none other than Robert over at 13 Knives.
Hey guys, this is Robert over at 13 Knives, home of the Bulldog Cutter right there. And I wanted to share with you guys something that my dad instilled in me a long time ago. He had to repeat this a lot when I was younger, but it was, if you're going to do a job, do it right the first time. Don't do it half-ass. Why do a job a second time when you can get it right the first time? And so when I started working on the Bulldog Cutter, it was very important to me to work out all the kinks, get it to where it cut right the first time, get it to where the edge lasted as long as it could. Obviously with care, you don't want to be cutting stupid things. This is meant for cigars only. Don't be cutting dumb things, like don't be trying to open up wine bottles or anything like that. It's meant to cut cigars. And if you do that, and you only do that, it's going to last a long time. Proudly made right here in Tennessee. And I hope that if you are looking for something like this, reach out to me, 13 Knives. And I'd love to make a handmade cigar cutter for you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Hey guys, this is Robert over at 13 Knives, home of the Bulldog Cutter right there.
And tonight's cigar is...
Tonight's cigar. This week we smoked the Tradecraft Cigars, the Azorian. Wrapper, Ecuadorian Habanos 7th Priming. Binder, Sumatra. Filler, PA Liegro. Ecuadorian, Habano 2000 Liegro Corojo Liegro. Carrillo, 98 Steco. That wasn't bad. Size, I talked to myself a little. Size was 54 by 5, and the price right there on the screen. Again, that's brought to you by 13 Knives. I kind of got it.
You're getting so much better. I really hope the chat comes in on that and just has some fun with it.
I almost bailed halfway through that. I almost picked up my magazine again.
All right, let's bring on our guest. Tonight's guest is brought to you by Hayes Gray. What's up, guys?
Savor every moment with Hayes Gray Cigars. Each blend is crafted for bold flavor, veteran-inspired character, and premium construction. From smooth and approachable to rich and complex in flavor, Hayes Gray delivers a cigar for every palate. Now available our new release, Irmãos do Mar. Order Hayes Gray Cigars online at Fat Boys Cigars and from Wolfpack Cigar Club and the Cigar Vault, Oakdale. Visit our website for a list of nationwide retail lounges and to grab some cool Hayes Gray merch to rep our brand. As always, we've got your sticks.
And let's welcome back the man of the night, Mr. Pew 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 himself.
Yeah.
What's up, Sean?
Gentlemen, how are you?
We are fantastic. I like the energy. Dang, that put me up. All right.
I thought that was the cue I was getting in the green room. By the way, I tore it up in there. You're never gonna. It's never gonna be the same.
Oh, man.
It'll be all right.
Just another repair that we're going to have to do. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's probably more like stains.
I also tore up the green room before we started. So.
Well done.
Mick now has a brown room. Just saying.
Okay.
That was the quickest start to a show I've ever had. I'm like, oh Yeah, I need to. Yeah, it was not good. So
Too much food and beer before getting home. He's like, oh shit, literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. It was that was a crazy start to a show. I'm like, all right, we got 3 minutes. I'm trying to time it in my head. Anyway, enough about that. Thank you for joining us again, man. I know we when we had you on the first time, we were like, we got to do this again and make it about you, because we had so many follow-up questions that night with stuff that you had touched on. And I know I don't really talk about my career on here, but our paths kind of overlap on stuff that we've done. And I felt that connection with you instantly the first time we had you on. And man, we enjoyed that first round. That was a little bit more of a, with the men's mental health, and we really tried to keep it somewhat on that level. But man, we want to deep dive tonight. We want to talk about Sean, man, and just and have a good time with you. And we really want to give you that opportunity to kind of tell your story and just have fun with it. So welcome back, man, and let's have and do this.
Well, I'll warn you. I think it was Friedrich Nietzsche that said, "Be careful of staring too long into the abyss, or the abyss will stare back into you."
I feel that.
This should be interesting. Kind of what Mick said. We want to hear your story, your origin story from beginning to where you're at now. But I know there's a lot of different sides to you, and we found that out with the men's mental health, because I know that's something you're passionate about and you're into, and then stoicism. And I would like to get into that a little bit more. And unfortunately, I think we're going to leave again tonight with more questions and more follow-ups to be like, hey, how about a third time being on here? So we'll see where it goes, and let's have some fun. But like Mick says, let's cartwheel backwards. Actually, I say it, but he always makes fun of me. Let's cartwheel backwards a little bit, and let's get to know who Sean was growing up. And really, really quick, somebody says, hooray, Sean. So tell us about Sean growing up. Where did you grow up? How'd you grow up? What kind of kid was you? Was you mama's favorite person, or was you daddy's worst nightmare?
Well, that person who just said hooray, Sean, is my loving wife. So she's my number one supporter, no doubt. And
well, hello, loving wife. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Starting out, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and lived there for just a little while before moving to Cape Girardeau, which is just a couple hours south on the Mississippi River. And most of my family was in Arkansas, in Northeast Arkansas. So I had a kind of interesting upbringing in the sense that I grew up in a small city. But on my summers, I would go down to stay on a working farm and live with folks that had a very rural lifestyle. So I got, I think, the best of both worlds, because I was into BMX bikes and running around with my friends, pretty much unsupervised most of the time. And I would go to Arkansas and I would get on the farm and I would drive boats up the river and go fishing and ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes and shoot guns. I mean, all of that kind of stuff was super cool. So I wasn't terribly interested in school that much. I didn't become a lifelong learner until adulthood, until it really dawned on me that, hey, man, information is power, and you can go out there and get it for free. And developed a love for reading as a young man, and all of those things kind of culminated. They germinated, but they didn't sprout until later on in life.
So I guess I would ask. I'm going to also cartwheel back a little bit. You kind of touched on a bunch of things there. So I also rode a bunch of BMX bike growing up and skateboarded and did all that stuff. But I also fished and hunted with my dad and stuff like that. Like, what were some of the key moments that when you were growing up that like kind of still stick with you to this day? I mean, I know for me, like some of those memories with my dad and brothers hunting, and learning how to shoot guns and catching some big bass, largemouth out on the boat, with my dad and stuff like that. And really, were there some moments growing up that really still stick with you and kind of molded you into who you became as a young adult?
I'd say so, both good and bad, right? But it's kind of a cornucopia of experiences that really melds us into who we are. I'd say one fun story is I was out fishing with my Uncle Bob, and we had gone to this really weird place out in the woods, and kind of this really off the beaten path area. We had to drag the boat off the trailer to get it down to the water. We got in, and I was set up for bass, and I think he was too. And we're just casting and pulling back, and he snagged something, and it was on the fight, and so much that I put my pole down because I was just like, oh my God, what's going on here? And he's reeling it in and breaks the water, and he just starts cussing. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, because I'm still just a kid. And he gets this gar up to the boat, and without telling me anything, pulls out his 357, holds it up, and just wow, comes that thing right there. I didn't even know to cover my ears, just. And he was cussing the whole time. Goddamn gar, I can't stand them in. And you can't get your thumb in there because they'll rip it off. And so that was just kind of a crazy experience. Another one that was kind of interesting was in a boat again. I was with my grandfather, and I loved running the nets with my grandfather. Now, my grandfather lived through the Depression. Both my grandparents did, and so that definitely had an effect on their mentality. And my grandfather hunted and provided for his family. He also put nets in the river that weren't legal, and I would go and run those nets with him. And these things were monsters, man. They were big mesh nets that had the looms in them, and there were like 8-9 sections of them. Just enormous. They had the cone, and then he would use a special fish bait. This is like some kind of stinky cheese bait that he came up with the recipe for. And we would go down, and he would tie them and anchor them underwater, right? So you had to be a riverman to know what the hell you were doing, like to where you buried your nets, and you had to use landmarks. And so we would go up the river, and he would tell me, now you listen for boat motors, because he would tell me to listen, because he had been running equipment all his life, and he was mostly deaf. So I was on lookout. I was party to the crime, and he would take this weighted hook. It had a treble hook on it, and it was probably, I don't know, 5-10 pounds on the end of a rope. And he'd swing it out and throw it about where he thought his net was. And then he'd slowly drag it and hook the net and pull it up. And then we would open the net, and oh my God, the amount of fish that we would pull out of these nets. It's probably why they were illegal, But it was bottom feeders, mostly catfish. There were spoonbill, carp, buffalo, drum, like all of those kind of fish. And holy moly, like we'd be pulling them out and dumping them in the boat, and they're flopping around. It was like this huge haul. And so I always enjoyed running the nets with my grandfather. And one time we were out, and I had leaned over the edge of the boat to see where he was going to throw, and he swung that weight back and clipped me right in the temple. I went down, like my knees buckled, and I was pretty soft growing up. I came up crying, and I was wailing, and I'll never forget to this day, my grandfather, who was a hellion when he was younger, reached up and patted my head, and I felt that old, hard, calloused hand. And that moment of tenderness, as he said, it's okay, And it didn't sink home to me how important that was and how much he had changed until I told my father that story. And when I told my father, my dad was mad. And he looked at me and he says, well, he never said that to me. He always told me to get the hell out of the way. So another formative moment, fun memory.
See, that's funny because, you know, my dad was born in 1940, so my grandfather was born really, really a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a hard ass.
Mm-hmm.
My dad and my uncles would talk about times where, you know, it wasn't he's going to tell you don't do something. He was going to beat your tail and then explain to you why you made him do this to you. And he didn't care if it was the soft edge of a belt or if it was the buckle. He was going to beat you with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, everybody, my cousins, I was born a lot later in my dad's life when he was in his mid 40s. And so he had already had kids, and his brothers and my cousins were all old enough to be my dad at the time. And, you know, they all had a fear for my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's stories was always the one thing that you never did was sit in my grandfather's chair or stand in front of him when he's trying to watch wrestling. So the story was always that no matter where I was at his house, the moment he got up to use the bathroom, I would go sit in his chair.
Mm-hmm.
And he would come back into the room and he would just look at me and I would just look at him and then go back to watching TV. He would go sit on the arm of the chair and look down at me. I'd look up at him, go back to watching TV. And it made everybody in my family mad.
Yeah.
Because he would have beat them.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he allowed me to get away with it. And he was the one that would just nudge me over. He would try to sit on me. And I would get up and then I would go stand this far from him watching TV with my arms crossed. I'm 5 years old. And he's saying, hey, boy, get out of the way. And I just look at him and I just move over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they said I teased him all the time and I didn't die because of it. And it's like everybody in the family stayed mad. And that's the story that they all tell to this day is that for some reason I was the only kid in the family that he didn't beat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the exact same with my grandfather. And to some degree, I wonder how bad. I know he beat the kids. He nearly drowned my uncle when the three boys decided that they were going to take him on one day. And he beat the shit out of all of them. And then on top of that, I think that's where my father learned domestic violence and then recreated that scenario in his own life. And then there's one story about my grandfather that I didn't see too clearly until I was older. But essentially, my grandfather was known for his temper in the small town where he lived. And the story, as I was told, is his sister was dating a man, and that man had beat her. And my grandfather let it out that he was coming to town. And so the word got out that Harley Curtis is coming to town, and that guy went away. And that was the end of the story. And, you know, as a child, I assumed, well, okay, I've seen my grandfather mad plenty of times. I could understand why he might want to leave town. But I don't know if he left town on his own volition now that I'm older. Now I'm not sure what happened to that guy. Makes you wonder.
So I will say it was a completely different generation that had a harder sense of right and wrong. And there wasn't, I'm going to tell you, it was, I'm going to show you why you don't do this again.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite decided on whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. Cause you look at what's going on now and it's like, we kind of need some of them people back here right now.
Yeah. 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 It makes you wonder. I've done a lot of reading, continued reading, and then I've had 22 and a half years in law enforcement. you can't be in law enforcement without being at least somewhat of a sociologist, you know, studying the people that are your subjects. And I feel like generational trauma is probably a large percentage of what's behind the criminality in America right now. And that's a pretty broad claim, and I don't have any, you know, like citations to give you. This is just my general impression, just from reading books and especially more about on the mental health side of what I've been doing, learning after getting out of law enforcement.
Yeah. Before we get back into your middle years, I did want to say real quick that, you know, it's something I think we can both agree on. No matter what we have to do what we have to do in the fields that we're in at times. However, all try to work our way through it without that violence as a first reaction or a first step. Because if you're doing the job, you have to actually analyze the situation and really, you know, read where you're going with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true.
I guess.
No, go ahead, Mick. But go ahead. You froze up a little bit,
No.
so I wasn't sure if you were done or not.
I don't know what's going on. It shows I have full signal. I'm
got-
so irritated right now. But
got you.
anyway,
Calm down.
yeah.
Calm
So
down.
that technical
Do it
difficulty
back.
Here comes the temper.
is brought to you by I'm frozen.
So while he goes ahead and cools down and has another drink, I do want to go into, you said something that kind of made me kind of listen in a little bit deeper. You said that you think that kind of, I guess, abuse or that mentality that your grandfather had was something that kind of rubbed off on something that your father had later on. So is that something as a kid that you went through was, you know, more of an abusive relationship with, you know, your father, or was that something he was more along the lines of he kind of pushed it out there towards other people?
No, he had a violent temper, and it was, I think things went okay for a while, but then he caused a situation where my mother couldn't stay with him anymore. When she wanted to get a divorce, he got violent. So that kind of situation, it extended to both of us, you know, because he was just trying to control things. And, you know, so as a 5-year-old, my first experience with the police, showing up at my house, and, you know, basically in those days they called it a family matter, and it was private, and so they really didn't do anything. And it took my mom a while to get clear of that situation. We had to have help, and it was tough, you know, it was scary. And then the relationship with my father was strained over the next several years, and then eventually I went no contact. I told him I didn't care for his behavior, and if he couldn't change that, then I wasn't going to have anything to do with him, and he was fine with that. And so that's probably been, I don't know.
I was about to say, how old was you when you had to make that decision?
Yeah, I was in my 20s. So yeah, shit, I guess it's probably been maybe closer to 30 years then. So yeah, just kind of I didn't have a whole lot of father in my
Well,
upbringing.
that's what I was about to say is was that pretty much the last time you really talked to him, or did y'all talk later on and, you know, make up or, you know, reconcile anything? Or
We talked, you know, through my 20s, and he would just get drunk and say negative things about my mother. And, you know, my mother was there for me the entire time, fighting for me, trying to make sure that I was fed, had to struggle. You know, we stayed in some rough places. Here's a tickler, maybe a thread to pull on later. Confronted a serial killer. So let's talk about that one in a little bit. But all of these things that she did that he never did, and he was still bitter over the choices that he made that caused the whole situation. So it was kind of one of those scenarios where it's like, wow, it's right in front of you, and you can't accept it, so you still blame someone else. And I told him he wasn't going to do that anymore, and he didn't like that. So no, we have not spoken since.
I am struggling tonight. I apologize. I will eventually get my shit together. I think I figured out my internet problems. But no, man, that's some craziness, man. For you to make those choices that early on in life, man, that definitely had to mold you somewhat into obviously who you became. But no, tell us a little bit more about your teenage.
Oh yeah, so teenage years
after high school.
Man, after high school, well, I was a punk in high school. Like I was a goth. I dressed in black. You know, I dyed my hair black. I listened to all that kind of music, and I was into that whole scene. Like depressed a lot. I had a stepfather that I did not get along with, and that kind of made for a tough situation. And then ultimately, by the time I got out of high school, I moved out like almost immediately. Well, pretty soon after, I was 18 and moved out of the apartment into an apartment and had a roommate. And I was a raft guide in the summer and a ski tech in the winter, and just barely making ends meet. But I volunteered for search and rescue. And that's where the story kind of takes another interesting turn, because I really enjoyed search and rescue. And as much as I liked rafting, and I still love rafting, there was something thrilling and something rewarding in me that drew me to search and rescue. And that ultimately led to law enforcement.
Well, I'm excited to hear about that part of it, but you did say we need to kind of go back a little bit, and this thing about your mom confronting a serial killer. Before we go into search and rescue and law enforcement, what the hell happened on this one?
Yeah, so my mom and I were staying in a small house in Cape Girardeau, and unbeknownst to us, there was a serial rapist and murderer working in the area. He would go on, he'd cross a river and he'd do some stuff in Illinois, and then he'd occasionally come over into Missouri. And his big thing was he liked finding women, I believe, that looked like his mother, and he would capture them, kidnap them, usually catch them in their house, like break into their house. And occasionally, if there was a child present, he would tie the child up and then make them watch as he raped their mother. And then ultimately, people would be killed at the end of the session, and he would move on. And you got to remember, like, DNA wasn't prevalent in those days. Like, it wasn't, if you use a basic crime scene tech. So, kind of a tough situation, but I don't remember how many people he killed, but it's just kind of a wild story. So what happened was, one day I was out front in the front yard, and I was playing with my X-Wing fighter. And I had my X-Wing fighter, I had Luke in the little orange jumpsuit. We were flying, and I was pressing R2-D2, making the wing spread. You remember, pressing the button, making the noise. And I go by the window, there's a big pane window in the front, and I just noticed in the corner, the bottom corner, there's a chip. The window is chipped. And I thought that was kind of weird. And, but, I was just a kid. I was like 6 or 7 at the time. I didn't know any better. I didn't know what to think about that. And what I also was not aware of is that my mom had a couple of guns, and they were stolen. somebody broke into the house while we were away and took those guns. And so that was my mom's first clue that, something was awry. You come in, you steal valuables, but you take the guns. Yeah, so she contacted the police and filed a report, obviously, and then was a little more kind of tuned into like what the heck is going on. And it's just me and her in this house. And then one night, I'll never forget, I'm lying in bed, and my door was across the end of the hall from my mother's door. And there was a bathroom in between us, and there was a light straight above. And there's only like 6-8 feet between our doors, maybe. And so she would crack my door, and the light from the hall would light up my room and make me feel a little safer. And so I was in there laying in the covers, and I heard this big crash, and I woke up and I looked, and I didn't know where the sound had come from, but it sounded like the front of the house. And I saw my mom's back up to that crack of the door. And there was probably only like 6-8 inches of my door cracked open, but all I could see was the back of her head, and she had like a nightgown on, and she's standing there. And I keep calling her, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy," and she won't answer me. And I know she hears me, like she's right there in front of me. What I didn't see is a man knocked that window, and he'd actually broken that chip off, and then used a screwdriver to pry that window open, and it crashed when it fell in. And then he climbed in the window and pulled out a 12-inch butcher knife. And thankfully, my mom had called the police as soon as she started hearing stuff out front of the house. And she also called our neighbors, Bob and Linda, who lived just a little ways down. And he stood up, and he had this 12-inch butcher knife, and I don't know if it was the sirens or if it was the cars that were coming, because Bob got in his car and came screaming over. But this guy ran down the stairs. He's obviously familiar with the house, and busted out the back door. And to this day, I'm blown away with that, because there was like 5 locks on that back door on the bottom floor of the house. And but yeah, so that his MO, like I said, was kidnapping, tying up, making you witness what you do to your mother, and then killing everybody involved. And his name was Timothy Cranchir. I can't remember how you spell it, Kranjcir or something like that. And they finally caught him. And we didn't know any of that stuff for the majority of our lives. It was only maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago that we learned that one of the police agencies that was investigating it had recovered my mom's pistol. And so they were able to trace it back. And so that unfolded all of the connections of who broke into the house that night. And it was a scary event, as it was. But now when you look back on it with that information and you realize why he was there, holy shit, man, that's kind of a crazy story.
Dude, that's as deep as it goes, man. And talk about mommy issues and how, I mean, we all watch those shows, where people have an MO and have a type that they look at. And when you actually hear it from your side at that age, man, that's crazy to think about. Right. I almost wish she had one hidden gun that night, because then you would have found out who it was right away, and it would have been great. But,
right. Yeah, and maybe save somebody else down the road.
100%. 100%. Yeah. A good guy with a gun beats a bad guy with a gun any day. So, yeah. But anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later. So, as we were going, Charles?
Just bring it right back on me. Find that. So you talked about going into search and rescue. I don't see how you didn't all of a sudden go into law enforcement mind. Like, I want to be a cop when I grow up, when that happened, because that would have been probably where my first thought would have went to. But I guess you're in your late teens, early 20s going in, and you're learning about, search and rescue. How did that come about, and how did that lead you into law enforcement?
Yeah, sure. So my relationship with my stepfather kind of had me bent toward not liking authority very much. And so I think that was my natural push for not liking law enforcement. So when I was in high school, I got out of being the goth dude and I went more into rock and roll and metal. Like I love metal. I was in a metal band, and so kind of anti-authoritarian anyway. But and then I was around drug culture, and cops are not very popular. So like those were a lot of my influences, and I ended up not going into law enforcement. But it's kind of funny how that evolved anyway. Getting to search and rescue, I found somewhere because I'd moved to Colorado when I was 14, and that changed my life significantly. I'd gone from almost no elevation to running out to Colorado and then signing up for football and doing 2-a-days at 7,000 feet. Like it killed me, man. But when I started getting into search and rescue, it was funny because it was completely guilt free. Like going and helping someone, they're always happy to see you for the most part. There were some notable exceptions. But when you fall down and break your wrist on a trail and somebody comes and they're there to help you, guaranteed they're not going to fuss. They're going to be very happy to see you. It's not going to be an issue. And so I started showing up. I started volunteering, and then I got more involved and got a scanner and started inadvertently hanging around with cops, because in Colorado, the Colorado Constitution dictates that the sheriff's office is responsible for search and rescue statutorily. So they don't have to do it. They can farm it out to other people, but they are responsible for coordinating it and putting it together. And so here I am hanging out with these cops who are always showing up on these calls, and we're working together. And you get to be around people. I don't know, unless they're like super extreme, most people are pretty reasonable, and you spend a little time with them, and you find out that you have more in common than you don't. And so that kind of started to happen, and they knew me from being a punk kid, and who used to speed around town and occasionally get into fights, but they were always pulling me over. And when they started seeing me showing up at search and rescue calls and acting more like a responsible adult instead of a punk kid, they started to give me a break. And then that eventually turned into fondness, and they invited me to join search and rescue. And so I joined up, became an official volunteer, and then it wasn't too much longer before they asked me if I'd like to join the reserves. And that was kind of interesting because I had really long hair, and I had to cut it. But I made that decision. I was like, yeah, you know what? I think this is pretty cool. And so I joined up. I became a reserve deputy. And, we rode around with the deputies. Some of us got to carry guns, depending on qualifications. And we would work security details. We would fill in at events where the sheriff's office was spread a little thin. So, like county fairs and stuff like that. And we did a lot of things that kind of were introductory to law enforcement. They weren't on the periphery. They weren't like, unless we were riding with a deputy, the side stuff was just kind of like getting you interested in it. And I went from being a reserve deputy to the coordinator for the reserves. And then it wasn't too long after that before they offered to send me to the academy and have me become a full deputy. So at the age of 20, I went to the academy and got through that, and then came back and barely squeaked in, with my 21st birthday. And here I am, a certified peace officer working for a sheriff's office.
That's awesome. That's pretty. That to me, that seems a little like insane for the young age to be doing that. But then you also look over how many 18 and 19-year-olds do we have over in Iraq, Iran, and all that stuff. So I mean, that still seems like a lot of responsibility for such a young person. Going through search and rescue and going into reserves, is there any stories that you can think of that were like either some highlights or lowlights or things that you're like, you learned something from those areas that helped you out to what you ended up becoming or what you do now?
Yeah. The biggest contrast that I could draw is in your reception. And this is what I had alluded to earlier. When you have someone who has been bucked off a horse at 10,000 feet, and maybe they had a bad fall, and you go up and you get there, you've got a Stokes, a litter, or maybe another horse, or you're going to get them out on a four-wheeler or something, maybe even a helicopter. They are always happy to see you. Like it's a good day. They're excited. They might be a little nervous and scared, but they're so happy that you're there. Law enforcement is rarely like that. Most of the time, people don't want to see you. It's just the way it is, unless you're a victim, then you can't get there fast enough, right? But when you confront people who are suspected of or have been committing crimes, they're never happy to see you. And that was one of the biggest differences that I noted. I could give you the reference of the person who fell off the horse on the mountaintop, but I can also tell you that the person who is driving home drunk with their kids in the car, they need some help too, but it's a different kind of help, and they're not going to be happy to see you.
Man, what a great reference. I mean, I get that completely. I guess I never really thought about it that way, but you're right. All the people need help, but a lot of them are not happy to see you when you're on that side.
Yeah.
But man, so how did your career progress from there? I guess I know you had a pretty long career in law enforcement, a pretty tough career at times. I mean, starting out that young, I would say probably in itself was a struggle because you were going through growing, as a human yourself. And I mean, we all become adults technically on paper at like 18. But I know I sure as hell didn't really grow up until maybe I was 30 and really start seeing the world like through the eyes that maybe my parents did, or like as an older adult. I mean, like how did those growing pains happen as you were already in that field?
Yeah, so many, God. And as far as maturity, I don't feel like I really accomplished anything until just the last few years, like growing up, like finally feeling like I've earned some wisdom. Yeah, a lot of hard lessons. Reputation, I'd say was a big one. I was paired with a lot of different men who had different qualities, and my sheriff and undersheriff wanted me to learn from those men. So some men were rough, some men were brave, some men had excellent paperwork, some men could shoot like nobody's business, and so I was paired with these guys, and that's kind of how I was brought up. I learned a lot of lessons. I mentioned reputation, being out on the road, confronting drunks like that. That was probably my least favorite part, because we almost always knew how it was going to be. But the funny thing is too, I did a lot of fighting probably the first 10 years. And then I made sergeant, but I was just tough to make ends meet because I was in a very small rural community, and I've been on for 10 years. I don't know how many arrests I had. It was a bunch. I've been shot at. I can tell you how many fights I've been in, like a lot of critical incidents. And I was only making 28,000 a year, you know, and that was, it was tough to make ends meet. So bailed out, went back to school, got a degree in criminal justice. A couple of years later, hired back into the same agency as a sergeant, but then made patrol lieutenant pretty quickly. And the next several years were amazing. Like, I did really well. I had a lot of successes. I learned a lot about leadership, and much of what I learned was kind of from doing the opposite of what I had been given to learn, you know, like what my leaders had done for me. And I know we can all relate to that. Like, a lot of people have dealt with bad bosses, and you think to yourself, man, if I ever get in a position, I would never do something like that. But
they always say you learn more from a bad manager than you do from a good manager. And right. I have absolutely learned a lot more from a bad manager than I ever could from a good. But yeah, no, man, absolutely. Charles, good.
So Honey Bunches says he was also an amazing EMT and firefighter. So for somebody going through all this, how does being an EMT and firefighter come into this? Is this later on and we'll get into it, or are you doing this right now? I mean, doing this at the time that we're speaking.
Yeah, in the storyline, when I was, the first time I was with the sheriff's office, the first 10 years, I was an EMT. For 8 years, I worked on a local ambulance service, and I did that part-time. And then as part of the constitutional responsibilities of the sheriff's office also include wildland firefighting. That may surprise you, but it's a big responsibility in our areas. And I was the assistant fire marshal. So I eventually became a type 2 firefighter, red carded firefighter, and learned a lot of stuff from that. So basically, I was like an emergency junkie. If there was something going on and I could respond to it, then I was down to do it.
So I'm going to say this before we move on. And I know you and I have had conversations briefly online and offline a little bit. And I don't talk about my career here a lot, man, but there's never a doubt when we have a guest on what connects us, you know, and when there's always something with Charles or with you or with me, it resonates, you know, with how we got brought up or how we were brought up. Am I froze? Anybody? Am I froze? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know.
You're slowed down, but you're okay.
I'm going to lose my mind tonight. Anyway. So, no, I was just going to say real quick, man, that you mentioned leadership. I'm trying to breathe through this, Charles. I really am.
You're good, man.
So, leadership, though, man, you're right. Like, and how we learn and how we're brought up, and we learn that stuff from people that you were either bad managers or the best one had, or the worst ones you've ever had, you know, and we learn that stuff as we go. And you don't really know it until you're actually in it and you've experienced it. And it's something that even today, man, I feel like I'm learning every day how to be a better leader. And if you're not leading from the front and really getting out there with your guys and like pushing through, like you're not getting everything out of your career you should be. Like, you need to be in those trenches with your guys every single day. It doesn't matter what role you're in or how high you climb on that ladder. You're never too good to be in those trenches with your guys. And man, I love that. It sounds like you pretty much made your whole career that way, brother.
Yeah, man. You know, I realized that coming back in as a sergeant, but like I said, making lieutenant so quickly, I needed to get more education. And so I went back and got a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership, or no, public management. So it's like government leadership, essentially, and with a specialization in criminology. And then took every leadership course that I could get. while I was in, because things change, and then you've got generational differences that are interesting and challenging. When I was a sergeant previously, I was the same age as or younger than some of the deputies that I was supervising. But when I came back and made lieutenant, most of my guys were younger than me. And so reaching them, I could call and they wouldn't answer the phone. But if I text, boom, they're answering right away. So like little generational difference that made me have to change a little bit how I was. So yeah, like just continuing to learn and yeah, the importance of being upfront, setting an example, not asking people to do things that you wouldn't do. Yeah, all those fundamental things that they aren't taught, and there are very few people who are natural at it. And so it's so important to get educated about that stuff. It's a responsibility.
Oh yeah, and I would say on the back end of that, the sooner you get that buy-in, the easier your life is. You get that buy-in, man, and you're just ready to move forward. And it seems like it's so much easier to do as soon as you get that buy-in from your guys. But
yeah.
So tell us about the rest of your career, man. Where did you go from there? I know you kind of worked your way up through the ranks, and it wasn't always easy. We touched on that during men's mental health episode. It was I get that fully, man. But give us a little insight on that.
Yeah, so kind of funny. I had gone through. I was in Orlando when I went back to school, and that's how I was able to get that accomplished. And while I was there, I availed myself of a Muay Thai gym and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school. And the UFC had just come out and was pretty fresh. So I went down to this school and started training with a guy named John Burke. And John is huge now. Like he has a very massive school in Ocoee. But when I first started training with him, we were at a gymnasium where they teach young kids to do gymnastics. And the mats that they had were like spring loaded, so you could do tumbles and stuff, but they were carpet covered. So, I'm out there rolling with dudes and I'm just getting chewed up with carpet burn. But it got better, and John's school came along and then the Muay Thai thing, I just loved it so much. And the funny thing is I did that for like 5 years, right? And very, very, very confident in my stand-up game and pretty decent with jiu-jitsu. And I go back to Colorado, and I'm actually teaching my guys this stuff. Like, I'm like, nope, you come in. And, I had this one deputy who was, he was extremely fit. And he was so convinced that I couldn't whip him. And so I put him in a line, and I had 3 in a row, and I tapped each one of them. And, he was very strong. He was able to hold me for a while, but I just waited, and he gasped, and I choked him. So it was like those kind of skills, but then also showing them like the importance of, hey, if you're more confident, and this is something that I noticed, when I would show up on a scene, I didn't have to fight anymore. Like it was almost never. Because I just knew I could dismantle someone. And there was only one exception, and it was a guy that was trying to commit suicide. And he tried to get away from me. I tackled him and knocked him down. He was a big boy and quite a bit younger than me. And I got on his back, and he started doing a push-up. And I thought, oh, this is not good, because I was probably like 260, and he's doing so I sank that rear naked, and I held it just long enough until his elbows gave out and he collapsed, and I let it go. So he never lost consciousness, but he gave up the fight. And we were done, it was a good thing too, because I didn't have any backup immediately available, and he was suicidal. So yeah, like all of that kind of stuff. Just little fun stories along the way. I got a million of those. But
So how long did your training in Muay Thai and BJJ go? Because I mean, now you're in my personal realm
I
of
got you. Yeah.
daily life. So
So,
and gotta love a good rear naked, because I mean
oh,
those blood chokes,
yeah,
they
yeah.
can make some of the biggest men decide that they're going to take a nap
Oh,
really
yeah.
quick.
Yeah, absolutely done. It was kind of interesting. I did jujitsu. I was a white belt. I never made it to blue, but I could tap a lot of blue belts, so I felt pretty good about my skills. But I absolutely loved Muay Thai. Like I couldn't get enough of Muay Thai, and so that's where because I was looking at it was like $100 for each a month, and I was kind of like, let me stick with Muay Thai because it was actually keeping me in really good shape. I was extremely lean, and yeah, I was a beast, man. Got back to Colorado, and this is where the story kind of takes a dark turn. But my wife, Honey Bunches, had bought me a fight vacation. So she had arranged for me to fly to Phuket, Thailand, and go train at Tiger Muay Thai for a few weeks. And I was going to get my first amateur fight. So that's how much I was into Muay Thai. And
Yeah.
I was absolutely blown away. Like I was thrilled. I couldn't have been more excited about it, and started training because I won't say I let myself go, but I wasn't in fighting shape like I was when I was in Orlando. And so, man, I'm getting ready for the ties because I know how hard they are. They train to feed their families, so like that's motivation. So I was running, biking, doing all this stuff, working the bag in the garage, and crazy. But I was at a leadership training in Durango, Colorado, and had a freak accident and broke my knee. Now, what I actually did is my femur smacked into my tibial plateau and sheared it like a conical hole in the tibia, and then sheared my ACL. And that led to a massive saddle embolism. I had a pulmonary embolism as a result of that leg break. And it should have killed me. I was thankfully in Colorado Springs, but the crazy thing was because I was getting ready to go to Thailand and I had been training my ass off, my cardio component was incredible. And it enabled me to fight off the fact that the clots were forming and had completely closed off my left side, my lung, and had half on my right side. Like I only was breathing on quarter lung power when I crushed into the hospital and said, "Hey, I think I'm having a pulmonary embolism." And so I got past that, had to have a clot buster, and then had rehab from that to get ready for the surgery. And then after the surgery, had to rehab from that. And on the 1 year anniversary, I was in a half duathlon and competed. And I came in last in my category, but for me, it was a win.
But you got to compete. So, I
Yeah.
mean, in itself, that is a huge accomplishment. So I'm on the borderline of being depressed right now because I'm realizing you didn't get to go to Thailand, did you?
I didn't, brother. I didn't.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Tiger's facility out there and the work that they put in and the size of their mats that's all outside, and you see them, I mean, it's puddles of sweat and these guys are just banging hard. I mean, that has always been a bucket list. I mean, there's no chance now that I could go do that, but I was a kickboxer. I love
Yeah.
kickboxing.
Yeah.
And growing up, learning about Tiger's Gym out there, it was one of those bucket lists. Now it's a bucket list to go. I just want to go sit and watch the fight train, and then go to watch one of their matches, because these guys, it's not in the States, even UFC guys, they live it. But these guys in Thailand, it's culture.
Yeah.
And they don't live it, they breathe it.
Right.
So,
yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
So, you never got to go.
No, I didn't. I did a lot of other things. Like, I got to train with Raymond Decker. I don't know if you remember him, but he was the 8-time world Muay Thai champ. So got to train with him. Got to train with Hoist Gracie. He came to the John Burke School. So I had a lot of cool experiences in that world, and I will never regret the confidence that it's given me, and the comfort that it had given me.
So Honey Butcher says, Doc told me he wasn't going to make it, so make arrangements.
Yeah. So,
I cannot imagine what she was having to go through being told that. And she also says, but he sang all the way to the ICU, so I had the feeling he was going to get through. I'll ask you, what did you sing? But I'll ask her, what did he sing?
we were just talking about leadership, and I feel that responsibility almost around anyone. It doesn't matter if you're my employee or not. Like, even if it's just modeling my own behavior, leadership is all the time. And when my wife walked in to the ICU, I could see on her face that the doctor had told her I was going to die. And, I could read that on her face. And so that, I didn't feel like I was going to die. That's the other strange thing about my condition is, one of the last symptoms you have is crushing chest pain and an impending sense of doom. Yeah, no shit, because most people don't survive. I was the first person who had lived with more than a half of a blockage. So they had every reason to believe that I was going to die. But that fucking doctor didn't know me and didn't know my story. And so when the nurse said, okay, well, I was in the ER and they were going to wheel me over to the ICU. And the nurse came and got the bed and pushing me down this long hall, man. Like, I don't know if it was 200 feet or something like that, but it's in my head, I have this memory of this extremely long hall. And here's my wife walking next to the bed, and she has all the more reason in the world to believe that I'm going to die. And the nurse is pushing me along. And I heard a wheel kind of rattling, and I'm a bit of a jackass. And I also realized that in that moment, I needed to provide leadership. And so I started singing. And I sang Rawhide. And the more comfortable I felt about it, the louder I got. And I know all the words, so I sang the whole damn song. and I was singing pretty loud by the time we got to the end of the hall. And the nurse looked at my wife and was like, how is he singing? Like, he shouldn't be breathing. Like, how is he singing? Because I wasn't going to go out like that. Like, no, I didn't feel afraid. I wasn't concerned. I wasn't in any kind of pain. So that might have changed things. But yeah, so in that moment, I was the only conscious person in the ICU, and I spent a little time in there, but I crawled up out of that dark pit.
Brother, we've said it 100 times, man. We have that connection, but Jesus mighty, bro. Yeah. Yeah. No, for real. That almost gives me chills, man. Like that's like you were set at that point. Like, fuck this, it ain't my time. And that's awesome, man. I like, and you still had the whereabouts to say, yeah, I'm not putting somebody I love through this because I'm not doing it. Yeah. It's not up to you. That's awesome, man. That is amazing, man. Looking to be a leader at a point where you're in that shape is just something amazing to me, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing that story for real. That's amazing. That
You know, and I know you know this, Mick, because it doesn't matter when that becomes a part of you, when leadership becomes that part of you, like you can't put it down and say, oh,
you can't.
Oh, I got a rough situation here.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I've unfortunately someday in about 5 years I will tell my story on here. But yeah, man, it's so cool when I connect with somebody like this, and man, I can't wait to meet you in person someday and give you a big hug, man. I know it's kind of Charles's line, but for real, I feel you 100%, man. Like we've lived a lot of the same life. So bravo.
Thank you.
So I guess let's talk about how life and martial arts and law enforcement all came to. I know from the other show we kind of talked about when you laid down law enforcement and you wasn't sure what you wanted to do, and you ended up now with this great YouTube. I know it's you're working for Pew Pew, but let's run into that.
I would, before we go into that one, I mean the latter stages of his law enforcement led into some very rough times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just emotionally and heart-wrenching, times. Going from that lieutenant spot, where did you go? What was that next thing? Because I know you took a big leap into a different, I don't know if would be considered a department or a different form of what your job was.
Yeah, so the county experienced a multi-million-dollar deficit, and there were a lot of people that got laid off countywide, and I was one of those who went. And I'm certain that there's more to it, but it's not something I'm going to get into right now. Suffice to say that I got a job in Fort Collins as a district attorney investigator. And that was very cool for a lot of different reasons. The district attorney takes the product provided by the police agency, whether it's the sheriff's office, state patrol, or local police agencies, and prosecutes it. And they sometimes refine it or reject it based upon evidence. And so as an investigator, my job was to look at those cases and kind of either help them up or, find reason to get rid of them. And it was just the final product of law enforcement. So it was a different approach, a different angle. And I really enjoyed it. One of the things that I did during an assignment, though, was 5 years in SVU. In fact, we had an SVU, but it primarily consisted only of special prosecutors who were assigned just to handle those cases. And I was looking over my caseload one day, and I was working on a burglary of an unoccupied home. And then I was working on a sex assault. And I was like, why am I mean, they're both important, obviously, but this is terrible. I mean, this is absolutely horrible. So I was kind of confused why I was splitting time between these things. And so I approached the chief and I suggested, hey, it might help if I went full time with these types of cases. Because I could specialize, I could get additional training, and then I would be a hell of a lot more of an asset to that unit. And they liked the idea, and man, I fucking knocked it out of the park. I did really well with it. I was excellent at making victims feel comfortable. Some of the books that I read, we talk about, especially trauma informs forward, and we view the world through our trauma. And our trauma often provides us with our superpowers. And one of my questions when I was a kid is, am I safe? You've heard just a few of the things that I went through. And so one of my superpowers is providing safety and making people feel safe around me. And it was one of those things where I would get them in and make them feel comfortable and bond them to the office, because these cases would take years to prosecute, and there would be a lot of ups and downs, and you have to prepare people to testify about one of the worst moments in their lives in front of a group of people, 12 jurors, complete strangers, and then you're going to have a defense attorney just get in your ass about everything and make you sound like a liar or contrition or something like that. So, and then you may lose. You may lose. The person may be found not guilty, and then that's it. So, tough role, but man, I loved it, because I haunted rapists, child molesters, child pornographers, and it was some of the most motivating work that I have ever experienced in my life. Like, I woke up every morning like, hell yeah, let's go. Unfortunately,
so when my wife asked,
go ahead.
My wife asked me a couple hours before the podcast, she said, "Who do you have on?" And so when I was telling her about you, she was like, "Isn't that the guy that you had on for the mental health one that you started talking about of all of his experiences?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You got him on again?" I said, "Oh yeah," because he's got stories. But you don't have to go into any graphic or any whatever details, but 2 questions. Biggest letdown when you were working a case, and biggest hell yeah moment working a case.
Man, this is wild. I just told this story yesterday. There were so many, because it's hard to rate them, but probably one of the most important cases in my career, I would say, was a father who had inappropriately touched his daughter, and he was in a law enforcement position in the community where he worked, and because of that, his prosecutor's office had a conflict, so they couldn't prosecute him, so they called for a special prosecution, which meant that it got sent to our agency in a different town. So we met with the victim and some of the witnesses and built a rapport, and of course the mother. And I'm a big guy in a business suit, because that's how we dressed, and I'm at a park, and I'm running foot races, and I'm swinging on swings, and I'm talking to young girls and showing them that I'm an okay guy, and developing a relationship. And of course, the same with mom, like, hey, you can trust us with your case. We do this, we're pros, and we're going to do everything that we can for you. And that case went on for quite a while. As you might imagine, we'd have to meet several times. We would have little hearings to establish various things. And then ultimately, it led up to trial. And probably one of the heaviest moments of bravery that I have ever seen in all of my law enforcement career was a young lady testifying about what she saw, and having the defense attorney question her, and her getting mad and even defiant. Now, this was a young lady, gentlemen, not someone that you would expect feats of bravery from, but the look on her face, the set of her jaw, man, it hits me so hard that I witnessed that kind of bravery. And then we finished the trial, and we lost. Still sucks.
Yeah, I'll feel a little silence for you there, man. I can't. I know how much you probably put into that, man, and it's just mind blowing when something like that happens. Like what? How are people? I don't know. I don't even have words for it, man. I was just trying to fill some silence like that. I mean, I'm mind blown. I'm speechless.
I
bro. I don't know what to say.
I
really don't.
I have a hard time. I know the defense attorney was doing his job, but you know, in the defense attorney's heart, he's like, this guy should burn.
Yeah. There were so many interesting things about that case. One of them was, you know, I'm sitting at dinner in a restaurant, and I've with my wife and some other investigators, and I had a couple drinks, but I wasn't like plowed or anything like that. And I just started crying right there in the middle of the restaurant, just tears coming down. And that was a breaking point for me. And I was like, I realized, okay, maybe 5 years of this hasn't been good for me. Like, on the one hand, it absolutely motivated me, and I felt such a purpose with it. So to answer your question, Charles, that was my oh shit or oh hell no moment. But there is a right side of the story, and this is the oh hell yeah moment. The prosecutor had done such a great job presenting the case that the judge reviewed it and ordered a psychosex eval. And a psychosex eval is a interesting tool. It's like a lie detector along with something called a penile plethysmograph. That's a fun word to say, plethysmograph. It's a Peter meter. And they show you a range of pornographic material, and they see just what kind of freaky you are. And that test came back in such a way that it disturbed the judge enough to cause them to prevent the father from ever having custody again. So we didn't hold.
Not sure I ever said fuck yeah on a podcast, but fuck yeah. I mean, honestly, fuck yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Thank you. So we didn't hold the individual accountable, but we prevented him from ever having any contact with him. So it was a win. It was a, I won't call it a Pyrrhic victory because that was the most important thing, is that those girls be safe and that they move forward and have wonderful lives. But
that is 100% a victory, that this young lady will never have to look at this person again.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's not meeting some friendly people behind bars that would love to talk to him about what he did. But the fact that he will never have to, or she will never have to look at him again, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we take those wins whenever we could. And I'm not saying it like that I was jaded about the cases. There were occasionally cases that we would come across where evidence would take us in a different direction, and we would drop the case. So, I wasn't crazy about it. I'm not the conviction guy. Like, I don't give a shit about that. But what would happen is we would have case screenings, and we would have a meeting in a month, and we would get together and we would listen to all of the police reports. If there was a detective involved, we would listen to all those reports. We would look at photos, videos, all of the evidence, and then we would sit around and talk about, okay, let's go get this guy, And so it was cool to be part of a team that was doing hellaciously good work, and I'll never regret that.
So you were talking about that, you were sitting at dinner with your wife and some colleagues, and you just broke down. You lost your stuff. Was that the final straw for you working for the police department?
So at that point, I was with the district attorney's office, and
okay, the DA.
It was definitely the beginning of the end. It was 2021, and I had been writing on the side for Police One, It's a cop website that basically talks about the job, offers resources, articles on various interesting topics. And I had answered an email. They were looking for writers, and I've always been a little bit of a storyteller. Always enjoyed writing things, so I signed up and started writing articles for Police One, and that led to a lot of different opportunities. And it was pretty interesting because I would meet other writers, and then I would meet other editors. And in those days, like if you halfway had your shit together and you were polite, people would like take you on to write for them. So pretty soon I was writing for Police One, Pew Pew Tactical, Guns.com, and then I got into articles for magazines like Gun World magazine, American Survival Guide, and even the Glock Annual. I wrote several articles for them too. So this was all on the side while I was an investigator for the DA's office. So 2021, I was feeling the burn. Like I was, there was a lot of societal unrest and a lot of bad attitude toward law enforcement. Some of it was completely justified, but that combined with kind of the pressure cooker that I had created for myself. 15 years on the operational side of critical incidents and never talking to anyone about shit, and then super concentrated dose of child pornography and everything else that you can imagine in that realm. The secondary trauma was just through the roof. So I reached out to a lot of the publications that I had written for, just saying, hey, does anybody want a gently used police officer? And I got a couple of job offers and came to Pew Pew, and that was a huge change for me.
But before we go into that, just like I have two quick things. First, if anyone has not gone back and watched the men's mental health episode with Josh Coburn and Sean Curtis, you guys have to go back and watch that, because everything we just touched on briefly, we went pretty in depth with that night. So go back and watch that amazing episode. I know for me, I've listened to it a few times, man, and it was just a great night. And Sean opened up, and I think we all did. I mean, that's what we do in those episodes. We share our stories, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. So go back and check out that episode. Secondly, you still haven't answered if it was a Chinese restaurant where you broke down, because that's where I broke down in Memphis. So I'm just trying to find out. Was it a Chinese restaurant? I don't know. Anyway, we can move on from that. But we'll save that for episode 3.
All right.
But, tell us about how you got involved with Pew Pew, man. That's now I thank Charles for filling that last part, because I'm just focusing on my internet not going out while I'm trying to talk. So that's
You're
all
doing good, man. Yeah.
I don't know. Tonight's not been my best show, but anyway, tell us about Pew Pew.
Yeah, man. So I was doing some work for ARFCOM, and I was writing articles for so many different publications. And then I got the job at Pew Pew as a business development manager of all things. So that involved moving to Texas. And so we moved to Texas. And I didn't last very long in business development because the guy who was doing our videos didn't want to move to Texas. And Eric Hung, the CEO and owner of Pew Pew Tactical, wanted to move the company to Austin, and they were in California previously. And you can imagine how difficult that made things to, review guns and not have to deal with magazine restrictions or NFA restrictions or any of that mess. So they came to me and they said, hey, do you want to do video? And I said, no, but I will if that's what you want me to do. And so Johnny Villanueva, I call him Johnny Fantastic. He's our Cracker Jack videographer. He came down to Austin. We started working together, and we took the YouTube channel over at 200,000 or 220,000. And so John had done a great job, like getting us subscribers and kind of getting that vibe out there. but he didn't want to continue on with us, so I started taking over as the front person for the YouTube channel, and that's gone fairly well. It's up to just over 700,000 now, so pretty proud of that.
Hey, send a few of those our way. Just saying, we're
Yeah,
stuck at 650.
We
Like
are,
not 6,000. We're stuck at 650. Send one or two our way. Just saying.
we are so good at everything other than YouTube. Like social media, we just keep blowing up on everything. YouTube just don't like us. I don't know. Maybe it's the cigars. Maybe it's because I say fuck a lot. I'm not sure what it is. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of wild. YouTube is a tough act. I had a meeting with them. Several of us gun tubers got in a meeting with some of the main guys that handled the strikes, and like how to interact with YouTube management, and that was very illuminating. Like YouTube doesn't want to incur any kind of liability through firearms, so that's why they do so much to limit any kind of commerce related to firearms. And so, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they're just not showing their content out enough, or they say don't blame the algorithm for your crappy content, but I think that there might be a little bit something more to it, because YouTube is owned by Google, and those are some of the deepest pockets there are. And it would not surprise me in any stretch of the imagination that they would do various things to limit their liability as much as they could.
I will say that YouTube has been one of those things where it'll be some of the best content that we'll put out, whether it's shorts or whatever, and it's like, this is going to hit, and it gets 2 views.
Yeah.
And then something that's absolutely just does not make sense. It is the worst piece of crap that we put out. It gets 12,000 views.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the one that actually has good content that somebody can learn something from gets nothing. And it's like, I don't get it, because I run our YouTube page. I'm on that thing every day leading up into this episode. I'm uploading shorts from the podcast that we were a guest on yesterday. I'm uploading shorts, and I'm looking at the algorithm of what last week's done. We had a guy on here talking about getting sober and, building his life up, and some of his stuff just drops off. And it's like, no, this is the information that we need to put out there, that your life's not over, that you can grow from this, that you can become a better person. And they push it out to no one. And it's like, what? Why?
And I got to say that, and not saying this is about me at all, but me leaving Memphis, I had a pretty heartfelt moment before we left. I think that video got 3 fucking views. And I'm like, cool, love it. Like, I had a real heartfelt moment. And I'm like, at least give me like 20. I mean, Jesus mighty, what are we doing? Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, and gentlemen, just because we have more subscribers, don't think that I know what the hell I'm doing, because I don't. And I am the lucky recipient of a few of those that went really viral. Some have over 10 million views, and that got us a lot of subscribers. So, but it, like stuff that I've scripted, stuff that I've painstakingly put together, like work things out with Johnny, do this and this. And then we throw something together, and whew, there it goes, man, like a rocket. So
working, all this time, even when we talked to you earlier, going all this time, I thought Pew Pew Tactical was something you created. I did not realize that it was a job that you went into. Because I even entered the episode as Mr. Pew Pew. Pew, 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 pew. I mean, because I haven't been following you long, but when Josh told me, hey, you got to go follow this guy, I thought you were Mr. Pew Pew. I thought this was your channel.
Yeah.
And come to realize that it's not your channel. You just made it explode. So
I don't know if I'd say that, but I appreciate the vote of
I
confidence.
100% would, because I've gone back and looked. I mean, you've done a hell of a job. So
Thanks, man. Thank you very
when
much.
it comes into working in, because you're a inspirational tuber because of a lot of the stuff that you do, but you're that gun tuber.
Yeah.
We're a cigar tuber.
Yeah.
Going into that lifestyle of you're in that gun tuber aspect, who are some of the people that you have met along the way that's been like, this dude's pretty cool, this gun tuber is pretty cool, go watch this guy, I love what this guy's doing? Who are some of the people that you've met that you would be like, they got their shit together?
I don't know that I would say they have their shit together. You know, I've spent when you get to a certain level, you end up spending time at events. You get invited to events, and so you hang out with a lot of the people who are doing the same thing that you are. And for the most part, it's been writers throughout my career, right? Like I'd go to a writers event, and we'd be shooting a new gun, and you know, we're out spending time together at these different events. But when I got into YouTube, occasionally there would be YouTubers that would show up at the writers events too. Like they would just kind of start collecting when the media folks at the various firearms manufacturers realized that, oh shit, this YouTube thing, the social media thing, you know, that's another form of outreach. So they started pulling more of those types of people in. So now the events are quite a bit mixed. So I spent quite a bit of time with Mike Jones and Mike Floof, and you know, some of the bigger YouTube stars. But then, you know, I was at a Smith event the other day, and there was a guy there that I was talking. I hadn't seen him before, and I can't remember what his channel is, but he was asking about something, and I said, well, we do it like this. And, you know, like the elder statesman, I was explaining how our protocol was. And then I looked at his channel. He's got like 2 or 3 million followers. I'm like, who the hell am I to tell you? So, man, you just never know. It's
so for the people who's listening on here and that are their First Amendment people, they love their pew pew. If you had 2 people that you watch on a regular, who would you say that they are? I'll tell you mine when you get done.
You know, strangely, I don't watch a lot of YouTube.
I for some reason I figured you were going to say that. I honestly did. I really thought that. See, my YouTube algorithm is mental health, cigars, and guns. For the gun side, you know, the people that I've watched the longest, one was Demo Matt with Demolition Ranch. I loved watching his stuff. Brandon Herrera, future
Brandon's
congressman.
Great. Good dude.
He better be a future Texas congressman if Texas knows what's good for him. Brandon, love watching his stuff.
Yep.
Colin Noir, he puts out some good, reasonable 2A stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching them. And I will say that Josh has turned me on to watching your stuff, especially on Fridays, because he made a comment on our show. He appreciated the fact that you go on and you check in on people on Fridays. Mm-hmm. I make sure that at least on every Friday, I'm checking that Instagram post for your stuff.
On. Yeah, I don't always hit it, but I try to.
All right, so we're getting towards the end, but I got like 3 follow-ups because I write shit down as we do this. So as long as my internet holds,
all right.
As long as my internet holds, I am ready to go. All right, so I'll do them one at a time. My first little thing is, we've kind of breezed past it. I know we talked about it a little bit in the men's mental health. Your wife, she is your biggest supporter. She's obviously your biggest supporter. We see her, and I actually, we follow each other now, and I see her post everything. It's always about you and her. There she is. I kind of want to hear a little bit about your wife and what you have to say about her and how that's kind of affected your life moving forward. I love you, Charles.
You stole my final question. That was my final question.
Okay.
I wanted to know how you met your wife and
I got
how
two
she
more.
has become.
I got two more.
Shut
So
up.
hopefully I steal your
Shut
last.
up.
Hopefully
Let your
your
internet go down.
This
Let
is
your
a hell of
internet
an
go down.
answer. So I hope we have time for two more, but this is a hell of an answer. I met my wife on a domestic violence call. I got called out for a brother who had beat the hell out of his brother, along with another individual who was in the car also assaulted the other brother. And then when they got home to the house, there was violence and the mom got shoved and lots of threats. And so I had to go and handle that. And when I eventually charged the brother who had punched the other brother, I learned that this family was running a restaurant. And I had been going to that restaurant and eating there. And, you know, it was a very small community. So there were three sisters that were working, and the youngest one would ultimately become my wife. And how I met your mother. When we got together, she had just turned 18 and I was 22. Now, I had asked for permission to date her. And, you know, it wasn't like I was the local scumbag. I was a patrol deputy. Like I came into their restaurant. They knew what I did for a living. And I was old school enough to approach them and say, hey, look, I'd like to date your daughter. So, and at first they told me to date the older sister. And I was like, what? I said, she's married. And the mom said, well, we don't like her husband. So I was getting subtle clues along the way of what I might have been getting into. But I proceeded with this date and had my wife home at before the allotted time. And her mother is an alcoholic and started calling her some not nice things and then assaulted her almost immediately as she came in the door. And it was bad enough that she grabbed her stuff and moved out of the house. So moved in with a friend who was dating a drug dealer at the time. So I suggested, hey, until you're able to patch things up with your folks, why don't you come stay with me? Because I don't feel comfortable with you staying with that person. And which, you know, obviously I enjoyed cohabitating, but that there was an earnest concern there. And so she did, and we enjoyed it. And then she eventually didn't want to go home. But holy crap, her parents put this pressure campaign on. They wrote letters about me in the newspaper, accusing me of various crimes, insinuating that I was picking up young girls at the high school when there was actually only one. I was investigated by my sheriff's office. I was investigated by the DA's office, and you know, everything was on the up and up. So eventually, Dad came, made a threat, said he was going to kill me, and which I found very amusing. And I told my wife, I said, you know what? I said, whatever you decide, I'm okay with. I mean, I would love for you to stay, but for the first time in your life, I want you to make a fucking choice. You have a choice, you know, because her life had been so much dictation to her. And so she stayed. And, you know, there were charges. We had to go to court. And yeah, there were all kinds of accusations, but man, that has been the best decision that I ever made, and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And she's been an absolute rock and has been with me through some shit. I'm going to tell you. You know, I don't have a really big circle, but I have a really
And 31 years, I saw she just put that in the comments. Me and the wife hit 30 next August, so we're 29 this year.
Good for
so
you,
exactly what your wife said. Nobody ever said it would work, and trust me, we should have not been together 1,000 times. We both fucked up a lot. Like, when I say fucked up, like we just were not ready for that kind of commitment and what we did, and brought a family into the world. And we somehow we chose each other every day.
Yeah,
and we made it through. And here we are 30 years later. And honestly, best decision I ever made. I mean, I think she's even pissed at me right now, but I mean, it's fine. It's okay. Tomorrow's another day, and we'll be good. All right. So I'm going to hold one question for the hot box questions, but I have one last one before we roll into the hot box questions. This is a real quick one. Real quick. Okay, Charles. What? No. Okay. Do you have a firearm at arm's length right now?
Yeah.
I had to ask.
Yeah.
He just looked at it. That's fucking great. I love it.
I have an array. What would you like?
So
I just had to ask.
I'm going to say my last question before we go into the hot box is going to be something that, like I said, starting the show, we're going to have to go a round 3 with you. But I wanted to get into it. We just don't have time.
I hear you, man.
But I want you to talk a little bit about it. One of the things that really got me to where I want to learn more about you and the way you think is when you and Josh started talking about stoicism. Do me a favor. I know we can't go into it because it would lead us into another hour or 2 hours into this, but tell me a little about it, why you started adopting this thought, and kind of where it's got you to where you are at now.
Yeah. I feel
again, I understand this is going to be a round 3 kind of question.
Yeah. No, I'll try to keep it fairly condensed. I feel like it's kind of been there my whole life. Stoicism. It's been present, and there's been hints and reminders, but I just wasn't really paying attention. But you know, some of the tenets are essentially to stop worrying about things and not put a lot of mental effort into things that you can't control. We spend so much time fretting or fearing or you know, building anxiety or worrying about the past. So if we're worrying about the past, and it's depression, you know, like there's so many different struggles that we cause ourselves because we're just constantly worrying about things. And stoicism, it teaches you you can't control most of the things that happen in your life. So why should you invest a lot of energy? Why should you get wrapped around the axle about them? Focus on the things that you can control. And that in itself, holy crap, man, like if you can swallow that and really implement it in your life, that alone is huge. Right? To be able to step back and put down some of that ardor, some of that hate, some of that disappointment, and just look at things more clinically, and then make some decisions. It doesn't mean that you can't express emotion or that you can't be joyful or sad or upset, but you can absolutely take a lot of the mayhem out of your life by just letting go of the shit that you can't control. And so, go ahead.
On a personal question, so if you've got somebody in your life that is having an extremely hard time of exactly what you said, of struggling with not being able to control the things that you can't control, whether it's a passing of a family member or whether it's relationships with, you know, your own external family members, they're just having every day seems like they're just kicking you in the ass every day, but it's something that you can't control. Is there something that you can recommend, a good read, a good listen to? Because that's kind of going on, not with me, but in my life, that I would love to recommend for somebody to, hey, go listen to this, go read this. This may be, I mean, it's like a dad talking to the kid. I can preach all day to my kids that something should be done this way, but it's not until somebody else tells them this that they understand it. Is there something that you could recommend for anybody out there or somebody in my life that they can take and read and enjoy and maybe be able to relax and cause some peace?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to go back all the way to the beginning, take a look at Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. He was outstanding. You know, one of the best emperors of Rome, arguably, and great accomplishments, but still very human, still very fallible. And his diaries essentially became meditations, the book, and heavily laced with stoicism. I mean, it's in practice how things are going to go. And there's so many great quotes within that book. But for more recent, maybe more modern applications, you got to go with Ryan Holiday. He was a guy who was in marketing, I believe, and then found stoicism and just delved in with both feet. And he has written several books like The Obstacle is the Way, Ego is the Enemy, or Stillness is the Key. And he's taking some of the virtues of stoicism and kind of dusting them off and representing them, because we probably like to think in our heads that we're living through unimaginable times, and in some ways that's true. But if you boil things down to their base fundamentals, what we're having, this human experience, has been done so many times, so many different societies over so many different eras. And the Stoics had a great approach, and it still applies. You know, the shit that we confront on a daily basis, they had to deal with it in different ways. So yeah, I think for sure Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, and then any Ryan Holiday's books would be a great place to jump in and start learning about Stoicism.
Awesome. Thank you so much, because I just wrote both of that down, and I'm going to be ordering that, and I will be giving that out, because
Beautiful.
I am thoroughly trying to help somebody get over and be able to understand and be able to process. And right now, anything would help.
Good. I wish you luck, man, and I applaud your effort, because not everyone has someone who's willing to make that much effort to help them out. So good for you.
Just saying, it may just be my own very honey bunches of oats. So
Yep. Could be. Well, I wish you luck then, my friend.
I will. I'll jump on real quick and say, so I know you haven't really met Doc Christine, who's our psychologist friend that has jumped on many of the men's health. She gave me so many insights. Yep, that's where I'm going. Charles already knows where my head's at. So, yeah, cheers, brother. So, she reached out after our last episode and said about how many great insights you had, and also about the books that you recommended and the people you recommended for the readings. And she actually sent me a bunch of screenshots that she ordered them, and it's amazing. And so I really think our next men's mental health episode, or mental health episode over the holidays, has to be Sean Curtis and Dr. Christine. So if you're interested, I think we need to make this happen. We need to make this happen.
So let me preface this by saying, everybody does something during the summer for men's mental health because that's the hot topic.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring one of the biggest things that affects everybody, men and women, is mental health through the holidays because we've lost people throughout the year. This is the first time that we're dealing with that struggle of not being with that person. Bills, trying to pay for Christmas presents, trying to be the alpha female, the alpha male in the family when everything else is burning down around you. And so we started doing mental health through the holidays. So Mick is spot on for one of the first times to be able to have Doc on as the female aspect and to have you on as the male aspect and to have us being able to just generate the conversation. I think that would be fantastic.
That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it does.
It might lead
we'll
to
be
some
in contact.
discovery.
100%. Oh, well, every time we do a mental health episode, Mick and I talk afterwards. We discover something about ourselves and our lives that it's like, holy crap, I need to fix this, or this is something that me and my family need to work on.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
I've known Doc for 6 or 7 years now, and we're just reunited in person. Jesus mighty, I did it. Damn it, 6, 7 bullshit. Anyway, he gets me every week. I just saw her in person for the first time this past week, and she gave me a big hug, and I think she started her reanalyzation of me because that's what she does. But it's she's one of the best fucking humans I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
so
awesome.
I think it'd be a great episode, man. She also is in the same field that I am, Sean. So I think you get that, and she analyzes some of the worst, and so for her and you, and us, I think it's going to be an amazing episode. So if you're down sometime in maybe November, we'll get with you offline. But I would love to set that up, man.
I'm going to tell you, the 22 and a half years of compressed, all the crap that I dealt with really kind of erupted this last year. So I had an amazing mental health journey, which, we kind of covered in the mental health episode. And so I have grown so much and I have learned so much. And if even a little bit of that can help somebody else, then I'm happy to share. I'll totally be down for November.
That is 100% what we are, whether it's when we talk about what we do with the podcast or when we bring on a guest such as you and is talking about something like this. That's what we want to do. We want to tell about our experiences, and we want you to be able to kind of grow from it because we all screw up. We all mess up.
Oh, sure.
And it's just like in any industry, whether it's you're in counseling or whatever, you learn from people's screw ups to make yourself a better person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
one of the funny aspects of stoicism is all of these terrible things that the person that you're trying to help are going through is making them stronger, is making them better, and it's getting them ready for something down the road. We don't know what that is yet, but the terrible story of how I met my wife, best thing that happened to me, right? Me breaking my leg and almost dying, it made me harder than ever. All of these horrible, horrible things that happen in our lives, they very often have, they're building you for something.
So Honey Bunches of Oats says, I would say things to look forward to. I know Mick is cracking up. Honey Bunches of Oats. I would say that the things to look forward to and appreciate what you have, where you are, and who surrounds you. I do need a reminder from Sean sometimes that we have been through worse.
Yeah.
And I would say your early relationships were probably some of the worst things that you guys had to go through.
Yeah.
But again, you just said how long you've been together. Holy crap. I aspire to be there. I'm at 12 years. I'm looking at Mick and he's going 30. You're going 30. And it's like, when I grow up, I want to be you guys. I'm just saying.
You can get there, man. You can do it.
I said it earlier, man. You just choose each other every day, regardless of the bullshit and everything, all the noise around you, man. You choose each other every day. And Charles, yeah. I've known you long enough now. You'll be just fine, brother. I'll see you in 18 years. Like for
I tell her every day.
No doubt in my fucking mind.
The moment, people talk about, my kids. I've got 3 kids, and they're like, "Oh, what was it like when they were little?" And it's like, I only know one of them when they were little. And they're like, "What do you mean?" I said, the day I got married, I got 3 kids. Mm-hmm. I got a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 6-month-old. I became a dad the day I got married. And there's nothing else I could think that's better than that.
That's awesome.
So the day I got married, I gained 4 family members.
Heck yeah.
Because I chose it. And I tell her every day that it doesn't matter if we go to bed upset, if we wake up upset. It doesn't matter if we argued, a fight, we had a disagreement. We wake up every morning choosing to be with each other. And we've done that. And like Mick says, I mean, there was times in his relationship that he should not have been with his person. They should not have been together. The first 5 years of our life, we should probably have never even looked at each other. But we chose each other. So I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
So we need to roll into the last couple of segments with you because we need to let you go and let you get back to Honey Bunches of Oats before she ends up getting pissed at us for keeping you on here so long. So the next little thing that we have is we have what we call hotbox questions. You've been through those before, but after that, we have what we call our Ask It Forward questions. So one of those is going to be from our guest from last week who has a question for you for this week. And we're going to come back to you sometime in the next couple of days and say, hey, this is our guest. Would you mind asking them a question? And then the other question is going to be from our Patreon members who gets, we select somebody who gets a chance to ask you a question.
Right on.
So as we always like to say, are you willing to play Hotbox Questions?
Absolutely.
Hotbox Questions are brought to you by Beard Apothecary. What's up, John?
Y'all know me. You know, Ireland, a living. Beard Apothecary. Got tattoos? We got you covered. Got a pretty mustache? Got you covered. Got a dirty beard? Yeah, got that covered. Wash it, condition it. Got a beard? How about this? We got you. Order that stuff. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
So let's prove the age. Let's prove the age. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Yeah.
Women. What's the final line?
Man, I don't remember.
And swim between their legs.
Oh. I remember the swimming with bow-legged women. But I don't remember that.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
All right. So, Mr. Mick, you are the first one, even though you put me as the first person last night every time.
Well,
you're the first person to ask a question this week.
Not every time. Oh, come on. Anyway.
We're going to have to go through some kind of like relationship canceling.
We are. Yeah. We're going to have to watch that. Never mind. Anyway. So I think I asked you this last time, but I need it again for the post-show promos. What's your favorite musical band or artist? And you can have 2 if you need to, because I got a few to pump out after this.
Rawhide.
Rawhide. I'm actually writing that down.
That would be a good one. Man, so tough. I am an absolute audiophile. Like, there's almost no form of music that I don't enjoy. I don't really care for jazz all that much, but almost everything else, like big band, rock, metal, hell pop, hip hop.
If you needed to have a song to pump you up and say, "Fuck yeah," give me a song.
Okay.
Fuck yeah is my word tonight.
How about Slipknot, Psychosocial?
Fuck yeah. See, there it is. There it is. All right, cool. Love it. Charles?
I did my time and I won out.
Love it. If you could relive one day of your life exactly how it was, what would it be? And you cannot say the day you married Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh, no, I would say the day that I proposed.
Really? You so slipped through that one. Dang.
I was in Ireland. It was a magical scene.
I love
Oh, you were in Ireland?
it. I love
All
it.
right, sidebar. Tell us.
So it was 1999, and Summer and I went to Ireland. We went to Dublin, and then we toured like Cork, Limerick, and got tattoos. Went and kissed the Blarney Stone at the Blarney Castle, and just like really dug into it. And while we were outside the Blarney Castle, there's this magical garden, and I decided, like, I felt it. I was like, wow, I can't imagine my life without this woman. And so I'm going to ask her. And this is a magical place. So at being an old Dungeons and Dragons player, I thought, okay, this is like +10 to my roll. And I'm going to ask right now. So I was slick about it, though. I had disposable cameras because I'm old. Like, they didn't have cell phones with cameras back then. And I had a disposable camera. And I got down on one knee like I was getting just the right angle. And I said, will you marry me? And I clicked the picture. And right when she was saying yes. But the funny thing was, she thought that I was just trying to get a smile out of her. And we're walking along, and she was talking about where we were going to go eat. And I said, God damn, woman, I just asked you to marry me. And she was like, oh, for real? And then she said, ask me again, and cried all the way to the pub. And it was amazing, man. It was an amazing moment.
Love it. Absolutely love it, man. I love you guys.
Do you still have that photo?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have
so
to.
great.
You have to send me just DM me. Send me that photo. I would love to see it. That's awesome.
Amazing. Amazing, bro. Awesome story. I wish mine was as good. Mine was in the CVS parking lot. So there we are.
It worked.
Anyway, oh yeah, 30 years later, here we are. But all right, so I'm gonna ask you. I know you could get super deep on this question, but it's something I wanted to ask you, being law enforcement.
Okay.
And it just don't go super deep. I'm asking you to just surface level. What percentage do you think decisions are made in police departments and law enforcement as a whole ego-driven versus actually doing the right thing for what they're built to do and what they're trained to do?
I would say a pretty high percentage is ego-driven. You know, you've got a male-dominated industry, and it's not even that it's a male-dominated industry. It is a next-level male-dominated industry. Like, you don't get
Alpha
into
male.
that.
Alpha male.
Yeah. So ego is going to be a huge part of it, but I would say that liability, from my experience and, you know, being in command, like, liability was one of the biggest driving factors.
I agree, man. I just kind of wanted to, it's something that's been on my mind for a long time. And I'm like, yep, this is the guy I'm asking that one to. Because honestly, there's so many decisions that I see now as a supervisor and as a leader that I'm like, that was all fucking ego. Every last bit of it. That's all it was. If somebody got their feelings hurt, or it was ego.
Right. Think about the reverse review. Ever go to your employee and sit down and say, hey, how am I doing? How are things going for you? Like, how can I be of assistance? And when you get some negative feedback and then you blow up, total ego. Like, you friggin' asked for it. You got to be able to take it right on the chin. So yeah, that's a big deal. And in law enforcement, those kind of conversations are more rare, I think.
I'm not in that boat, but I like that. So, last question.
Yes.
And I think I asked you and Josh the same one, but I'm going to ask you again.
Okay.
Do you think happiness is something that we create or something that we chase?
Yeah. Just this last year, the amount of work that I have done, I have brought an incredible amount of peace into my life. And so with that peace came a lot of happiness. And, I'm not the biggest fan of Texas. I kind of grew up in Colorado, and it's just beautiful there. So my heart is there in many ways, but being in Texas has afforded me an incredible amount of opportunities, and I have grown here. I have learned a lot, and by bringing that peace, which I had to chase it down, I absolutely did. And it's kind of an analogy of happiness is combined, right? It's kind of a duality. But I think the expectation of having to go after it, you're going to have to do some work. But you also have to create the mental space to be able to accept it and recognize it when it's there. Take a look at your life and, through manifestation, if you focus on the negative things, the things that you can't control, you're going to be anxious, you're going to be depressed, you're going to be upset, you're going to be continually. And guess what? You are going to see more negative things, more things that you can't control, more things that make you anxious, more things that make you depressed. Take a look at something that makes you happy in your life and really study it and be appreciative of it for a minute. If it's a relationship, if it's an old car, hell, if it's a gun that you love, take a look at those things and think, oh man, no, that brings me happiness. That's a focal point of joy in my life. And if you take that and switch to the next thing that brings you happiness, oh man, I love that dog. That dog is always there for me. She's crying for me to come to the door whenever I wake up in the morning. The next thing you do is you start looking around and you're collecting all of this happiness, and it's magnetic. It's magnetic. You train yourself to start looking at the things that bring you joy and focusing more on those instead of the negative things. You're going to have to deal with those negative things. There's no getting around them, but there's no reason to get terribly upset about them, and just accept them for what they are, control what you can, and move forward with your life, man, and lean into that joy. So I guess that's kind of a roundabout way to answer it, but sometimes you have to work for it, but you gotta have the mindset for it.
I have to know one thing. Listening to you talk about this, and it's not the first time. How did you get there? I know this is a sidebar question, and I know there's probably a longer story, but
yeah,
realizing the moment that you realize that you cannot control the things that you can't control, and realizing, somebody sitting there and telling you about that, there has to be a moment to where you realize that and you got there. How did you get there? Because I'm looking at you say this and I'm going, I don't know how he got there, and I don't know how I can express this to someone else.
Yeah, it's tough because I think a lot of people say it, but not very many people actually practice it. And it's not about not giving a shit, but because you can be concerned about things, but you can't control them. So why invest in additional energy? I think I'm going to borrow a page from my good friend Josh Coburn's book, and admit that I was broken. I was broken, and I had to rebuild. That's happened a few times. Life has absolutely kicked the shit out of me. Has given me some terrible deals, man, and not everyone is going to be there to pick you up or carry you through. And how are you going to get through that, man? You got to have some durability. And so when I keep looking back and looking at these situations, I wasted so much effort, so much angst, so much emotion, so much energy, and stress. You know, you keep putting that cortisol on you every time you get wrapped up about something. Let that shit go. You see these plants behind me? Go get into plants, man. Like, that's amazing. It makes you slow down, chill out, relax, and it's so much better for you, like, than getting upset about things. So, but yeah, like, how I got there, it was a very long and slow evolution, and I'm stupid for not having gotten here sooner. But I can't control that either, right? So I am here now in this moment, and I'm just appreciating what I have. And yeah, I still have challenges. There are still difficult things, but yeah, you know, I've got a lot of happiness in my life, and that's what I choose to focus on.
So Honey Bunches of Oats says, yes, both. Create a positive environment. We are surrounding ourselves with plants right now.
I will jump in real quick, and then we have our two questions that we talked about earlier. But I real quick, my daughter went through some rough shit lately, and she hasn't had the easiest life either. But she just moved back in with, anyway, long story. She had an opportunity to go on vacation with some of her best friends to a beach, and I'm like, just go and reset. And she went. And on the last day, she messaged us and said, I'm so sad that it's almost over. And I said, don't be sad that it's almost over. Be excited that you got to experience the moments. And she's like, wow, when did you become a philosopher? I'm like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just experience the moments, slow down, and enjoy every moment that you have, because you never know. But it was amazing. And she came home yesterday. We had a long conversation after, and it's just kind of a reset for her, and I'm glad I'm here to be able to be a part of that. And moving away from so much I loved in Tennessee was rough, but being there to share these moments with my daughter, unbelievable. Right there.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that, man.
Amazing. Yeah. But anyway, Charles, next segment. Let's go.
Yep. Let's go ahead and close this one out. We do have what we call our Ask It Forward questions. You've already said let's go for it. So Ask It Forward questions are brought to you by Southpaw Stogies.
Hey everyone, I'm Wes Chandler with Southpaw Stogies. If you're looking for a new cigar lounge, especially in the Lebanon, Tennessee area, boy, have I got the place for you. Come on, let me invite you inside. Here at Southpaw Stogies, we're not just a cigar lounge, we're a community. Whether you're a cigar enthusiast or new to smoking, we want to make sure that you feel right at home. Not only do we do cigars, but if you're looking for a great drink, we've got a curated selection of alcohol, craft beer, and oh yes, we do coffee as well. And most importantly, we want to make sure that you feel right at home at Southpaw Stogies, and we hope we see you soon.
All right, so our first question comes from one of our Patreon members.
Hey, Sean, my question to you is, after spending years in law enforcement and now working in the tactical industry, what's the one thing you wish you could go back and tell your younger self about handling stress, trauma, and asking for help, and why?
Man, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Holy crap. You know, I learned this year that I got into law enforcement, and I did all of the things that I did because of childhood trauma. And not strictly childhood trauma, but, you know, there was a lot of that created those drives in me. And there's a famous quote, I can't remember the counselor who said it, but it's basically that your nervous system will choose a familiar hell over a strange heaven. Let that sink in for a second. A familiar hell, right? So if you grew up and you were in situations where you didn't feel safe at home, then you might seek that out as an adult later on, right? Even though it's not necessarily the most healthy thing for you. So for me, calming things down, carving chaos into order. It was all motivated by a lot of the things that I experienced in my childhood. And I would say to my younger self, hey, these are your motivations. Do you still want to do this? Because I have also come to learn that, in essence, law enforcement is trauma. There's no way of getting around it. The things that you see, the things that you're exposed to on a regular basis are, it's amazing. You know, the average person has like 4 to 6 critical incidents in their life, and I think cops on average like 400 to 600 a year. And so when you add that up over the years, man, it's a lot to unpack. So I would just pass that message back to myself. I'm curious how I would respond, because if you know what's driving you and what's motivating you, but you know that it's going to lead you down a hard path, would you still take it?
Good answer. I mean, that would be a hard one to answer.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Is the trauma worth the experience?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And,
all right.
and
So
it's tough too, because, you know, all of the horrible things that I have experienced or seen or gone through with people have made me who I am today. So I can't resent them.
but with as many horrible things that you've seen, the great things that you've seen from the same industry.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out how to balance that out, is it worth it? Yeah. That's hard to kind of process.
Yeah.
All right. So our last question for you is from our guest last week. Sean Mobley is somebody in the cigar industry who has jumped out to the forefront, and he has actually made a cigar-oriented channel on Roku that they go, and he travels all around the world. He does interviews. They do all kinds of different shows about cigar industry. And it's actually been picked up and is on the Roku network. So if you have a Roku TV, go check out Cigar TV, download it, and you can watch what he does.
Okay.
He was our guest last week. He has a question for you this week.
Sean, what is going on, man? My name is Sean as well, spelled the only way, the correct way, S-E-A-N. I hope all is well. I love the gun content. We need to get a gun and gar show going on Cigar TV. But nonetheless, I heard a quote a couple weeks back that said, "Every man has 2 lives. The second begins when he realizes that he only has one." What was that moment for you?
Man, wow, how convenient. Also, another great question. But I think lying there in a hospital bed and having, you know, a bunch of nurses hovering around me like I was, like they were bomb technicians and I was about to go off. Lying there alone in the dark at night and not sure if I'm going to make it through the night. I think, you know, reaching down deep inside and getting mad. Yeah, I was mad. I was mad that I had, you know, the misfortune of breaking my leg. I was mad that I'd sheared my ACL. I was mad that I had this new health crisis. I was mad about a lot of different things. I was mad about a lot of things before that, but I dug down and I found that anger, and it carried me through the night. And, you know, I got up the next morning and I finally just accepted it. I was like, well, I can't fucking do anything else. I'm here. So what can I control? And I just started working on my health. And I did everything that I could to improve it. And so that's why, like I said, I went through and had all of that rehab after surgery and everything else, and then a year later competing in a half duathlon. I'm going to blow your mind for a second here, but I had another pulmonary embolism just a few years after that one. So like I said before, there have been multiple times, but to answer Sean's so beautifully worded question, and also amazing spelling, the only way. That was one night that taught me a couple of things. It was stoicism finally rearing up within me. I didn't recognize it for what it was, but one of the biggest phrases that comes from stoicism is memento mori, and that is remember that you must die. And it's not a sad thing. It's not a cautionary tale. It's just like, hey man, hurry up and get living. You need to get out there and get two handfuls of his life and start doing those things. Stop putting off reading that book or taking that trip or doing the things that you want to work toward, you want to drive toward. Because man, I see it here in Texas every day. There's people dying 10 a day at least on the highways in Texas. And it's stupid, but that's how quick death can come for any single one of us. And so we got to live like that.
Beautiful, bro. So Mick, I will let you go next. I know you got some things that you like to wrap up with, and then I'll go after you. And then we will let Mr. Sean go hang out with Honey Bunches of Oats and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Right.
I love the Honey Bunches of Oats thing, man. Every time you say it, I cringe a little, but I laugh, so it's great. But no, man, I knew coming into this we'd have another one of those nights where we connect on like 18 different levels, and it definitely happened. But at the same time, man, you continue to show a side of yourself that hopefully we bringing out. And we're having fun with it, and we obviously want you to tell your story, but at the same time, man, it's all about hopefully we can help stay in the long run. And I love how you approach life. And I get it. It took you a long time to get there. And same for me, man. Same for me. It took a long time for me to get to where I accept what I can't change and I move forward with life. And we have fun in the meantime, man, because we're only here for a short time. But long story short, man, I absolutely love talking to you, man. I can't wait to meet you in person at some point. And if you are down for show 3, man, with Doc, we would absolutely love to have you back, and we'll that, man. But we absolutely love having you on this show, dude. We were looking forward to this. We actually talked about it last night when we did that little sidebar with Big Al on his show, and we talked about our favorite upcoming episodes, man. And somebody we're really looking forward to having on, and it was you. So I mean, we're super excited you took the time to hang out with us, man. And much love. I appreciate everything you've done, and let's do this again, brother.
Right back at you, man. I appreciate it, and I would absolutely be honored to get on with Doc. That sounds like a fun time.
100%. I think it's going to be a great episode, and I think the dichotomy between you and her is going to be something that's going to just be amazing. I want to thank you, as always, for jumping on here, like Mick said. Going to give you the chance to leave a final word for everybody. Before you do that one, let everybody know where they can find you. I mean, coming to find out that you're not Mr. Pew Pew, you just work for Mr. Pew Pew. I mean, let everybody know how they can find that. But before I do that, I have to do this or I will get in trouble. I will say thank you to Mrs. Honey Bunches for allowing Mr. Sean to join us tonight. We appreciate you and giving him to us for a couple of hours. Thank you, ma'am, for that. I had to do that or I get in trouble. Just saying. So, Sean, let everybody know where they can find you, and we're going to give you the final word. I don't know how deep you want to go with it, but have fun with it.
Yeah. We've covered a lot of ground tonight and got into some pretty fun stories. I appreciate you guys watching and providing me the opportunity to just be the storyteller that I am for a few minutes. I think I would just pull a few pearls from the topics that we covered tonight, and just encourage people to, take a minute and look at the problems that they're facing, and try to repackage them, rebrand them, or reshape them. Look at them from a different perspective. What if they were an opportunity? It's easy to say, yeah, okay, well, I have this bill to pay, or I'm having this problem with this relationship. But what are you getting from that? If you could put a positive spin on it and take a look at it from that perspective, how much quicker would you approach that? If it were an opportunity, we would tend to run toward opportunities, right? Where we're like, hey, this sounds good. Yeah, there's going to be girls there. There's going to be music. We're going to have fun. Oh yeah, well, we'd go to that. But if somebody invited you somewhere where there was terrible things happening, no, you don't want those kind of problems, right? But what if we reframe some of the problems in our lives and try to look at them as opportunities? Because typically, most problems have something that you can actually pull out of. And whether it's an improvement in that relationship, or you're offering more service to somebody who is in need, there's any number of opportunities if we work hard enough and try to reframe them in our minds. And then again, keep focusing on the positive things in your life. Make sure that you're spending more time addressing those positive things and dwelling on those positive things than you are the negative. And that is most importantly so within yourself. That inner voice, that inner dialogue, we occasionally have some really negative thoughts. And I heard this, it's kind of corny, it was on a TikTok, but this lady said, the other day I heard somebody say, I was having these negative thoughts, and then I imagined myself as the queen, and I ordered my guards to seize them. And so now whenever I start saying something like, well, you're too fat to wear that dress, or there's no way they're going to like you if you go to that party, I order those thoughts, seize them, get them the hell out of here, march them out, and reinsert something that's positive, and focus on the positive. There is enough negativity in life, in the random nature of life, that you're going to face negativity anyway. Don't add to it. Don't stoke the fires.
That's freaking fantastic. There's so many things that I want to be able to say, but I will say I am grateful for the fact that there's been 3 people in the last couple of years that's been able to touch my heart, and the last couple of years have been really rough. One, my wife. She knows exactly what to say and how to say it.
Sure.
Second was Josh. Josh is that silent person who he's Batman, who comes out of the shadows when you least expect it, and he knows exactly what to say. Yeah. And then from the moment I talk to you first, you're the last. And when there's something that I'm needing to hear, whether it's to help me or help somebody else, and just like I told you earlier, how can I help this person? And listening to you talk about that, it's like, shit, I've got it. The answers are there. So I want to say personally, and I'll let Mick close it out with you, I want to say thank you for so much for jumping on here. There definitely needs a part 3, whether it's with you and Doc or it's with us again talking about this. I would love to do a stoicism episode about what you think about it, because I want to learn more about it. But I appreciate you for jumping on here. I appreciate your wife for allowing you to jump on here. I say allowing as in she cracks the whip, but when we do these kind of things, it's in conjunction with our wives. We have to make sure that they're okay with it.
Yeah.
So huge thanks to her for it. Huge thanks to you for it. I grow every time that we talk, and I want to grow again. So I hope we talk again soon. Mick,
Absolutely, man. Charles. Thank you very much. That means a lot to touch your heart. That means a lot to me. Thank you for sharing that.
How do you even follow that up? I'm kind of hoping my internet cuts out again. I mean, I honestly,
you can be Mr. Freeze on Batman.
I don't know how you follow that up, man. I've had this conversation with John Aldi many times because of the background and what we've done and what we've seen, man. And that's my connection with you, man. And I agree with Charles, man. You touched the show and you touched lives, and hopefully that's a cool thing about doing shows like this, man. Because it's not about tonight watching it live. It's not about who sees it tomorrow. People can watch this fucking show for the next 20 years. Hopefully, unless we get kicked off or they take it off the air. But I mean, honestly, I only said fuck like 13 times tonight, so who knows? I mean, we might be all right. But 14. But yeah, no, I appreciate you greatly, man. We're gonna catch up soon. I think I froze for a little bit there. Everybody there? Nobody there? Man. Anyway, thank you. I'm going to let it at that. It was hard to follow Charles up. I tried, and then I did actually freeze. So, dude, we love you. We love you. Thank you. And
thanks for having me.
We'll catch you up. We'll catch up with you soon, man.
Sounds good, bro. Take care.
I'm frozen and you're muted. This is the best thing ever.
Mick, hello. All right, so just like that, episode 87 is in the books. Mick is frozen. He jumped off here. Don't know what's going on, but it's just me on here for right now. But a huge thanks to Sean for jumping on here. I know we kept him a whole lot longer than what we thought we were going to, but you know what? That's the way the podcast goes. Mick is jumping on here. I think he is back, but I will say that it was a fantastic episode. It
was great, man.
There's not many people that get me emotional, and there's not many instances that get me emotional, but listening to him talk and then going back through what I've gone through the last year and a half, 2 years, and what I'm going through now sends me to get emotional. I will say this. I joked earlier that I want to be him when I grow up. I want to find where he's at mentally and emotionally. I want to find that. I want to find that for me and my family. Because listening to him, it sounds like that can never happen, but it's also, he's worked at it. He's found out what is broken and he's worked at it. And I want to be there. And when we both had the same thought, because as soon as you said it, I was all on it. The next mental health episode needs to be the dichotomy of him and Doc together.
Amazing.
Because we don't have to do anything. We just sit back and let them talk. Because
easy episode, but it's going to be one of the most dynamic episodes I think we've ever had. Those two together.
It's going to be a crushing episode.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those ones where I guarantee you're going to have to come into this episode understanding that you're going to be crushed.
Oh yeah.
Things inside you are, if you listen, things are going to change.
Yeah.
And if you enact what they believe in and their philosophy behind it, things are going to change.
Yeah.
You have to want it. And so if you go into, we just got asked on the episode last night with Big Al, what is the episode that you're looking forward to? We gave a lot of answers. This is my answer now. This one. because I don't want it for y'all. I'm selfish. I don't want it for everybody else that's listening to it. I want this episode for me now.
Yeah.
I want this episode for me and my family. And I want my kids to watch this. I want my wife to watch this. I want my relatives to watch this, because I know this next episode is going to be freaking insane.
Yeah. No, man, I'm with you. Again, you're really hard to follow tonight, man. I truly believe that, yes, we did give some other answers, and yes, I'm looking forward to those episodes. We have some pretty big
100%.
Big things coming, but it's pretty hard to beat tonight too, man. He is such a great guest and just so humble, and just he's been through what a lot of us go through and have been through. But the way he handles it at this point in his life, it's pretty hard to argue that he is an unbelievable person, man. Just unbelievable.
It's not the way that he handles it. It's the way that he and his wife handles it.
Oh, she's unbelievable.
I mean,
yeah.
As a guy, I will ask all the guys in the chat right now. I will ask you as well, and I'll ask me as well. But if you have your wife in the chat saying the stuff that she's saying about him publicly, would that not put you on cloud 11 and a half? Not on cloud 9. You're on cloud 10, 11, 12. Because she's not like throwing jabs at him, having fun. What, a lot of people do. You can look at what she's saying and be like, damn, this girl loves him.
That's sports.
And that's chills, bud. I mean, you look at that, and there's a reason that, going through what we do, we don't highlight a bunch of content that people put out there, but I had to highlight hers.
Yeah.
Not because that was his wife, but I'm reading it and going, holy crap. What dude would not want his wife saying that about him to the world?
I'm going to buy a box of honey bunches of oats tomorrow, I think. I mean, that's
kind
of
100%.
Yeah, might help a little.
I mean, you I know you said it was cringe, but come on, that was great. She put honey bunches. How could you not go honey bunches of oats? I mean, that's how alpaca got started. I mean,
that's right, alpaca. Oh, yeah.
I will design a freaking sticker that has, I don't know what her face looks like, but we'll have her in the honey bunches of oats cereal box.
Hell yeah. All right, so we should probably sprint to the finish here. We should probably sprint to the finish because we're going to lose people quick. So,
all right, so we do have cigar review to do, prizes to give away, as well as some Meanwhile in Not Memphis. All right, so let's go ahead and get these final 3 segments out of the way, and let's get some prizes given out. I know that's the only reason you guys listen to us, because you want free shit. Love you, though. Just saying. All right, so we do have the cigar review, and that is going to be brought to you by Cigar the Army.
Tonight's cigar review is proudly sponsored by Cigar Army. The Cigar Army is a community brought together by their shared love of cigars, but bonded by something much deeper: their mission to give back to those in need. Through Operation Give Back, they honor the courage and dedication of our military and first responders, both active and retired. Their bravery and selflessness make the freedoms we enjoy possible, including this very moment to sit here, share a cigar, and connect with our Real Smoke audience. Every puff carries a story. Every draw is a tribute to their sacrifices. This isn't just about cigars, it's about gratitude, about compassion, and about giving back to the heroes who shaped our lives. Join them in the mission to make a difference, one cigar at a time. Check them out on Instagram at Cigar Army 3 or search Cigar Army on Facebook. Together, we can turn our passion into purpose.
Huge thanks to everybody over at Cigar Army. We appreciate everything that you do for us, and we are honored to support all the things that you guys do as well. Mick, I'll let you go ahead and do that one while I go do a Lebo.
Lebo. Have a
Levo.
All right, Levo. What's up, JJ? So this week we smoked the Tradecraft, the Azorian. Appearance. Oh, I always do that because I read off the other side. My bad. Hopefully my internet freezes again right there. Pre-light, aromas and taste. Aroma from the body, musty barnyard, hay, and a light sweetness. Aroma from the foot, light cocoa, raisin, and light hay. Taste from the cold draw, light cocoa, and kind of a cardboardy blandness to it. First third notes, toasted almonds, light earth, caramel sweetness, coffee with cream, and the retro was black pepper with a touch of sweetness here and there. The ash held about an inch, and it was wavy but no corrections. Second, third notes, charred oak, earth, caramel espresso, kind of like a caramel macchiato, if I said that right. I think so. Dark fruit notes, baking spices. The retro definitely amped up a lot. There was black pepper, touch of spice on the nostrils, definitely had a lot more punch to it. Final third notes, more of the same with the charred oak, damp, heavy earth. Strong espresso with light cream. And there was some plum notes to it, like a plum sweetness, definitely dark fruit, baking spices. Retro was black pepper. And there was a hint of cocoa here and there, and a little bit of spice as well. Definitely a strong a little bit of. So pre-light experience, appearance 9 out of 10, aroma cold draw 9 out of 10, flavor enjoyment, 4s across the board. First third, second third, final third. It was pretty much a 4. It was definitely good experience the whole way through. Didn't blow my socks off with any kind of transitions or flavor profile, but it was good. Smoking construction characteristics, I gave construction a 9, draw a 9, burn a 9. Smoke production final thoughts. Smoke production was a 4. Overall experience a 17 out of 20. Would I buy it again? Yeah, I'd definitely buy a box. It was good. It was very good. So overall, 18 out of 20, 12 out of 15, 27 out of 30, 30 out of 35, 87 total score.
87 out of a total score. I will say that it sounds like we're never here when I say this, but over the last couple of weeks, we've been really sporadic. It's just that where we take a week off, it just happened to be where there was a week off and a show and a week off. So they were really close together. So we started something a while back, and somebody is actually putting it in the chat right now, which made me think about it. And we said we're going to ask at the end of the episode for everybody to rate the episode 1 out of 10. What did you think the episode was? A 1 out of 10. So while I go ahead and talk about this next one, this review, rate the show. Go put it in the chat right now. What do you think the show was? Don't juice it up. Don't bury it just because you're a dick. What do you think? What do you think the show was? Give it a 1 out of 10.
One's shit, and
1
10
is shit.
Is the best thing you ever had. You cried a little.
Yeah,
Great.
100%. All right, so let's go into the review. So aroma off the body, tobacco, musty, manure. Aroma off the foot, dark fruit, sweet tobacco. Taste off the cold draw, hay, earth, tobacco, sweet, and a sweet note. On the light, earth, hay, slight tobacco, and a sweetness. Into the first third notes are up front are a cedar sweetness, toast, earth. The retro is cedar, hay, and a white pepper. The draw is extremely tight. The draw that I had tonight was tight as well. Smoke is okay. Takes a little work because of the draw. Finish is short, slightly sweet. Burn is fantastic. And the ash stacks dimes, medium in strength. One thing I will say, usually when I have a really tight draw, I'm going to have issues with the burn or I'm going to have issues with the ash. The draw was extremely tight. The one that I had tonight was extremely tight. But if you watched how I smoked it, both burn and ash, fantastic. Perfection. Into the second notes up front are earth, oak, sweet tobacco, a slight tart note, and white pepper. The retro is dark chocolate, espresso, almonds, and molasses, and a dark fruit note. The draw has gotten a little bit better, still tight. Smoke is okay, but flavorful. Finish is long and sweet. Burn is fantastic. Ash is great. Strength is a medium. Into the final third, notes up front are coffee, oak, almond, and white pepper. The retro is white pepper, coffee, charred oak, and a slight dark chocolate note. Draw is good now. Smoke is thick and creamy. Finish is medium with good dark flavors. Burn is still great. Ash holds medium plus in strength, or medium in strength. Pre-light experiences gave it 18 out of 20. Flavor enjoyment gave it a 13 out of 15. Construction and characteristics gave it a 26 out of 30. Smoke production and final thoughts of 39 or a 29 out of 35. Gave it a medium in strength. I gave it an 86. So Real Smoke Podcast gives the Trade Craft cigar, the Zorian. Mick says 87. I say 86. We round that one up. It is an 86.5. So we round that up to an 87. Real Smoke Podcast gives this cigar an 87.
Yeah, it was solid throughout. I would definitely tell anyone to give this one a shot. It's one of those that Charles and I talk about a lot. If you're not technically focusing in on looking for something in particular, great consistent cigar with a great construction. Good cigar. Enjoy.
There is a shit ton of cigars that I don't look for a lot of flavor nuances because I'm not sitting here in the barrel house looking to review a cigar. I want a cigar that is made well, constructed well, smokes well, and has flavor. This cigar does it. It is one I don't have to think about. I don't have to worry about. I can sit and smoke it, talk to my wife, enjoy my kids, watch some TV, and enjoy a good cigar. And I feel that we do that anytime we give any cigar anything in the 80s that we have to justify it. But still, upper 80s is a fantastic cigar. Go try the cigar.
Absolutely. Might fit your profile perfectly. It's a great cigar. Absolutely.
Yeah. So good job.
All right.
We don't we do have to thank Jordan for this one. Big Bear in Training.
We do.
He did send these cigars to us. I did smoke one of the Gladius from them. We thought Mick got the Gladius when we met up with Jordan. So that was the first one I smoked a couple of weeks ago to do the review. Mick came back to me and said, "Hey, what are we smoking?" I sent him that one. He said I didn't have it. So this was the next one. So we do want to thank Big Bear in Training. Jordan, thank you so much for giving us these cigars to try. We do want to get Mick the Gladius because I've already reviewed it. We do need to try to get that one in. Huge thanks to you for doing that one. I love the cigars. Would love to talk to the people behind the cigars.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. When he gave them to us at the Middle Tennessee Herp, I may have been drinking. I don't know what happened to that cigar. So may have been. It's questionable.
It may have been left. It may have been, who knows?
Smoked.
Something happened.
Who knows? Yeah,
I was wondering if it was something that was smoked during the evening.
It's possible, and I probably gave the other one to somebody and told them to try it too. I have no idea. But I will buy the next round, and we'll review that one as well. So 2 for 1. Tradecraft wins.
There you go. So really quickly, we're going to go into prizes, and then we do have some meanwhile in not Memphis. But tonight, prizes. If you haven't won from us this month, because nobody's won from us this month, it's the first of the month, put in #RealSmoke. If you're a Patreon member, type in #RealSmoke, Pat. That is going to be it. So let's go ahead, and tonight's prizes are sponsored by Definition Cigars.
Hey, what's going on, Real Smoke family? This is Jamon of Definition Cigars. I know you guys are enjoying another great episode with Mick and Charles. Those guys are awesome. And they've allowed me to come on here and just offer you guys something special. So if you're interested in Definition Cigars, tap into the website at definitionscigars.com and use the coupon code RSPOD and you'll get 10% off. Appreciate everyone. Hope to see you soon.
So guys, do us a favor. Go do that coupon code. Go do that. Let us know if you do that. Send us a DM. We want to know because the biggest thing is the sponsor wants to know if people are actually reaching out. And if you haven't tried Definition Cigars or you're not smoking Definition Cigars, oh my gosh. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast we were on yesterday. Definition Cigars is some fantastic cigars. Go check them out. Use the coupon code. Let us know.
Thank you.
All right, Mick, go ahead and give everybody the rules for the show tonight for all the prizes. We do have a $25 gift card. We have 2 of them to give away to Cigar Vault Oakdale. One of them is going to be from a normal person as well as one from a Patreon. Mick will give you all the details. If any of them's forgotten, I'll try to remember them. Good luck on that happening.
Yeah, so if my internet don't fail again, I seem to be choppy, but bear with me. So yeah, it's a new month. So everyone's in luck. We're doing one regular giveaway, which is #RealSmoke. And yeah, that's for anyone who has not won this month, which is everyone that's currently listening to the show. So we're going to do that one first. We're doing that one first? Yep, sure are. The second one's going to be hashtag RealSmokePat. For the second one, join our Patreon, $5 a month. That is only for our Patreon subscribers. And yeah, we're looking forward to like every week we say that we're going to pick some random numbers tonight. I'm going to make Charles pick them because he makes me do this every week.
Cool.
So he's going to say 6, 7, but we're going to do that to try to beat the algorithm, and we're going to go from there.
All right, so I will say that you have to be live to enter to be entered to win, as well as if you don't see your name, shut up. It's on there.
It's definitely there.
StreamYard has already said that.
Many times.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. The numbers today, you know, it's going to have to be 3, and then 6, because it's a multiple of 3. All right, so the first one is going to be for Real Smoke. It's going to be 3 people. Here we go. 15 people have entered in to win. You have to be live. Number 1 that does not win.
I see a couple
it is
new
going
ones
to
again.
not
Let's
be.
go.
Yeah. Sergio. Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
Sergio.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Love you. Number 2.
I owe them an appreciation post. I'll be doing that tomorrow. It's the days got away from me, but much love, Northern Cigars.
Devi, little baby Devi. Number 2. Sorry, bud.
He's flexing.
Number 3. This is your winner. If they are here.
I bet they're here.
Smoking Sicilian. Let's go ahead and see if Smoking Sicilian. Greg, are you here? You have about 30 Mick seconds to go ahead and say that you're here. Mick, go ahead and make that about 13 seconds.
10, 9.
Uh-oh. He's counting.
8.
Let's see how well this happens.
7, 6, 5. 4.
6, 7. Oh, just saying.
I don't know. Anybody see him? Is he there? 3?
Nope. Come on, Greg.
2.
Greg.
I think he fell asleep. Greg. I started writing it down. I have a G on my page for nothing now. 1
G spot.
I do.
Can you not find it? Just
I'm touching it right now.
Wait, there it is.
There he is.
Greg is
Thank
here. You just came in at the last minute. I mean, he was really
I must have hit that
his
G spot. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
There it is. Congratulations, Greg. Bravo.
He says here, Birdline Brotherhood Podcast. What's up? He says
brother?
He's here. All right, so we have one more to give away. This one is going to be, let's go ahead and go back a little bit. Let's cartwheel back. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm doing it. So it is episode 87. God, can you just think we're at
87. It's Sidney Crosby episode
Hashtag
tonight. That's awesome.
Real Smoke P-A-T. Exclude multiple winners. Here we go. So this one is going to be 6. 6.
No, how many people?
Multiplier of 3. 3. Oh my goodness. Somebody's going to like get pulled 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, probably.
So number 1.
I like it when I get pulled 4 or 5 times.
So do I. It just doesn't happen as often as I want. Devi, sorry about you, but I mean, we know the way this works. He could be the next 5 people that's drawing.
He could be. And he won't be the 6th.
All right. So number 2. He'll be like 1 through 5 and then somebody.
What happened to Smoking Psalms? He was on here earlier.
He did not enter.
He was
Robert,
talking
number
shit.
2. I know. Number 3 is going to be, we got 4 entries. Somebody else just entered in. Birdline Brotherhood, number 3. This is
big guy.
This is number 4. Robert, number 4. Number 5.
Uh-oh.
Getting down to it. Here we go.
Money Matt took time
Number
from
5.
laying wood.
Money
to
Matt's
jump on.
number 5. Who is going to be number 6? Let's find out. Here we go.
Was
they
it
said
6 or
on the
7?
other podcast, 6. Nah,
6.
Multiple of 3. Round and round it goes. Little Devi.
Little Devi.
Is Little Devi on here? Devin, you have about 30 Mick seconds because Mick loves you. It's probably going to be about a minute and a half.
Devi's got to work tomorrow. What's he doing?
Wait, here we go. Look at this. Little Devi stayed up with us tonight.
I like it.
All right, guys, do us a favor. Send us your mailing name, address, phone number, email address, sperm sample, firstborn child's DNA.
That's weird.
Your wife's favorite colors.
Never mind. I was going to go there, but never mind.
Your non-wanted sleeping position.
That's odd. Stomach. I hate sleeping on my stomach. I always wake up weird. Yeah.
I can't sleep on my stomach. I end up having to be rolled over because something happens.
Me too. Me too. Weird. All right, congrats to our winners.
Somehow the kickstand goes down and you just have to roll over. Just saying.
That's right. It keeps me from
It
rolling
must
out
be
of bed.
from motorcycle. Anyway.
I love it.
All right. So congratulations to our winners. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get that. This does not sound right. Let's get this person off.
Let's get little Debbie off.
I do not want to get little Debbie off. Just saying. Oh, there we go. We're back to normal. There we go.
I'm finding Meanwhile and not Memphis on my phone. It's good. Stick around because it's gonna be good. I got you.
So we do have one more left. It is Meanwhile in Not Memphis. So Mick, you gave this big, heartfelt, touching moment on the last podcast that when I captured it and posted it, that nobody actually connected with, and it got 3 views. 3 views.
Yeah.
So, do you want to say anything going into Meanwhile in Not Memphis?
Man, I don't have a whole lot to say. I'll just say that being home with family, I don't love the area. I don't love the weather that's coming in about 2 months. But being home with family has something to be said for. I just in the last week, I've reconnected with, I stay in touch with them obviously when I'm away, but being actually able to put an arm around their neck and tell them I love them in person is something different. So it's
you do know you're using my line a lot lately.
I am. I'm gonna hug your neck, buddy. You too.
Hug your neck. Yeah. Welcome to the South, brother.
That's right.
You left
But yeah.
it, but welcome to the South.
Oh, I always have a part of it with me, man. But I hope I can read this.
Just
I see
saying,
these glasses. Kind of small.
How many times have I told either a guest or somebody that we met in person, I'm just going to, all I want to do is hug your neck.
Absolutely. I think I stole
and
it.
You've said that a couple of times tonight. So anyways, Meanwhile in Not Memphis is brought to you by none other than the Queen herself.
I am Sin Coburn, owner of Dissident Cigars, and now also a part of Northern Cigars. I'm super stoked about this, and I can't wait to talk more about this adventure. For those of you that don't know, Dissident is for those of us who are the blue-collar workers, the bikers, the rebels, the badasses, you name it. It's really for anybody, but if you go against the grain and you're not scared to stand up for yourself, then Dissident is for you. We are punk AF. And Northern Cigars, this is such a wonderful project that I'm a part of, and I'm so excited for you guys to learn about. I wish I could say more about it, but there's a reason why I'm also a part of Northern Cigars. These cigars are fantastic. We're taking in the roots of Nicaragua, the culture, the experience, the agriculture, and we're putting it into cigars. And you guys are going to learn really quick what Northern Cigars is. And I can't say too much more about it, but I'm super stoked. So you guys need to stay tuned about what I have to say about Northern and Dissident, because I think it's going to blow your socks off. But meanwhile, light up and enjoy this next segment of Real Smoke.
Where the flip fast from sun to sleep, 4 seasons fighting in the same damn street. Road crew cones like a plastic crime, detour signs been temporary since '99. Wawa sheets, folks start their fight like a holy war. And fluorescent light and some strange guy in a steel drum hat sold Mick a pretzel and called it all that. Then the Phillies got him screaming that glass. Swing the bat, you glorious ass. He threw his chip at the TV glow, said, come on, boys, give the man a show. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania. Mick looked out the window and said, what the hell is that?
I didn't know how you were going to do it, man. I just a man of many talents.
Go on.
Bravo.
Everything that we talk about, you know, you going home is right
Everything.
there.
It's in that song. It's unbelievable. Much love, man. Unbelievable.
So I do have to give some props. Sin is the sponsor of this episode or this segment. It may not be exactly what Mick's profile is, but if you guys line up with my profile, everything that Dissident puts out and everything, I mean everything what Northern puts out is 100% my profile. I would say about 75% is Mick's profile. Guys, go check that out. I mean, when Northern hits the States, holy shit.
Find
I
them.
cannot wait.
Find
but
them.
Mick, give me a critique. How'd I do on the song? I've been
Bravo.
working on that
One more
one.
time. Thank you for everything you do, brother. But that's beautiful. Beautiful. I didn't know how you were going to top Meanwhile Memphis, and that's always going to hold a spot in my heart, but bro, that's good. That's really fucking good. All right. So Meanwhile in Pennsylvania. The Ridley Park Lake Piranha. Imagine taking your kid out for a quiet weekend fishing trip, expecting to catch some standard local bass, reeling in a literal razor-tooth Amazonian nightmare instead. The 8-year-old Seamus Coffee. Seamus. Who the fuck names her?
Wait, the kid's name is Seamus?
Seamus.
Where did you move to?
I'm not after reading.
He's got to be Amish.
He's
got to be Amish.
Probably is.
Seamus.
Seamus Coffee.
I wonder
was
if he's going to be a seaman.
He might be. Never mind. Seamus Coffee was fishing with his father, Michael. Seems like a normal name.
Michael Seamus. Seamus Coffee. I do not want any coffee that has Seamus in it.
No, thank you. No cream. Black is fine. Black is perfectly fine.
No coffee with Seamus in it.
At Ridley Park Lake in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Themis seemed to hook something heavy, and when
I
it
bet
broke
he
the
did.
surface, the boy instantly yelled, "It's a
I'm
piranha! It's a piranha!" His dad thought he was joking, but Seamus knew exactly what it was because he watched YouTube.
I'm sure.
Pennsylvania
Pornhub.
Fish and Boat officially stepped in and confirmed that it was an exotic fish. It was a red-bellied piranha. Wildlife officials explained that this is part of the frustrating trend. People buy exotic pets, and when they are small and cute, and they realize they're too expensive or dangerous to keep, they dump them into local ponds. It's highly illegal to release non-native species into state waters. Luckily, the tropical piranha wouldn't have survived in the cold Pennsylvania winter anyway. The family safely and humanely disposed of the fish. And Seamus
ate it.
And Seamus says he was not afraid to go back in the water. Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, so not only do you move back to Pennsylvania, but you're running into somebody named Seamus.
Seamus. Yeah.
There's piranha.
Seamus. All right, so story number 2. The Hanover Tarot card. We'll see. The Hanover Tarot card.
We have to do something with Seamus.
Can we get him on the show? That'd be cool. Tonight's episode featuring
wrong show for that one.
It probably is. The Hanover Tarot card lawsuit. Is it possible to get arrested in the 21st century just for reading a tarot card? In Pennsylvania, technically, yes, thanks to a law written before the American Civil War. Beck Ravenswood. Where do these names come from? Beck Ravenswood, the owner of an occult shop.
Seaman and Ravenswood.
Yeah.
I mean, is the next story you're going to do is like John Hartcock?
I'm not sure yet. It could be Mike Hunt.
Mike.
Yes.
Mike Hunt.
Mike Hunt. Yeah.
Is it Mike B? What?
Yeah, just making sure. But anyway, Beck Ravenwood, the owner of an occult shop called the Serpent's Key in Hanover, York County, received an unexpected
big snakes
from local police. The officers issued a warning citing a deeply obscure state law from 1861. Under Pennsylvania, 1861. It's six. Yeah.
6-1.
Under Pennsylvania fortune-telling statute, it is a third-degree misdemeanor to predict the future events by cards, tokens, or inspection for monetary gain. Violating
but yet they're allowed to have some guy named Seaman.
Seamus. Yes.
Seamus.
Seamus.
Same thing.
Yeah. Violating.
So does when his mom gets mad, does she say, "Come here, come here"?
See, Jesus, Marty. It's violating. It carries up to a $2,500 fine and a year in prison. Ravenswood literally thought the police were playing a prank on him. Wood. Instead of shutting them down, Ravenswood fought back by hiring a lawyer and filing a federal lawsuit against the Hanover Borough and the police chief. The suit claims the law aggressively violates the First and 14th Amendment rights of free speech and freedom of religion. And then Seamus walked in. It was all done. So yeah, it was all good. All right. Story number 3. Can't wait to see what this guy's name is. The Maglism Mega Heist. For our final story, we cross into a pure, unadulterated horror movie of terror. This is a case of real life grave robber who turned his quiet suburban basement into I don't know what that fucking word is. Macabre House of Horrors. What is macabre? Macabre House of Horrors? Haven. It might be. Pornhub. The deep dive Police arrested a 34-year-old. The deep dive, Seamus. Jesus, buddy. I don't know why I'm trying at this point. The police arrested 34-year-old. Here we go, Jonathan Gerlache of Lancaster County after noticing something incredibly wrong. Officers spotted actual human bones and skulls sitting in plain view in the back seat.
He's from Lancaster? That is Amish country.
Yeah, he knows about semen.
That's just Uncle. That's Uncle Jorge. That's buried in the backyard.
It might be.
That's Uncle Seaman.
Anyway,
that's his Uncle Seaman.
Skull sitting in plain view in the back seat of a parked car near an old cemetery in the outskirts of Philadelphia. When detectives when detectives executed a search warrant in Gerlache's home and storage units in Ephrata, they uncovered a jaw-dropping stash of over 100 human skulls.
Oh, I bet they did.
Mummified hands, random skeletal frames, and 2 entire decomposing torsos. Some bones were organized on shelves, while other remains were literally hanging from the basement ceiling. In one instance, a stolen torso had a modern pacemaker attached to it. Gerlach has been carrying out the systematic months-long operation. He targeted the historic Mount Moriah Cemetery in Yeadon, rappelling down into locked old mausoleums and breaking into underground to extract bodies. So why did he do it? He admitted to running an illegal online trade with sold human remains and specialized in Facebook groups. He's been charged with over 500 criminal charges, including burglary, theft, and abuse of a corpse, and was held on $1 million bail. $1 million bail.
I just want to know, they were talking about his body being in position. So with his hand like this,
it was probably like
what was he been over like this? I'm just saying. I swear, officer, I felt him bent over the casket. I did not do that.
I wonder if the pacemaker was still operational. He's like, but he's alive. He likes it. Like, what are we doing?
Every time I touched him, I got a surge. I'm just saying.
Have you talked to Seamus? Because he knows all about it. Like, he's in on it. It's great. Yeah.
Seamus is over here going, I will give you the Seamus.
Ooh. That's great. I think that's your new favorite bit, is fucking with me while I'm trying to do these stories.
I'm going to say this. I'm not saying that I'm going to fuck you with you on every story, but I'm going to fuck with you on every story. Just saying.
I love it.
So just saying, the chat loved it. So I will say, how did we do? I'm going back like hours. So like a couple of people thought that we, yeah, I mean, we have in the words of Varsity Blues, we had a 10 AF in 10. All right. So we have Birdline says that is a 9.85. That is the only 2 reviews that we got. If I missed some, oh well. Smoking Something says, I don't see my name. You can go fuck yourself. Just saying. Love you, brother. But guess what? Sit and rotate.
Okay. He's on one. This one. All right. I like it. Let's go.
Let's see. Let's see. That will only take a couple of pumps. Knock it out, Dev. We did have Seamus. I like the wrestler. Yeah,
Seamus.
Yeah. Seamus is a completely different wrestler. He only comes when he needs to.
How much bourbon have you had in the last half hour? Jesus, buddy.
He hooked up something big that will be the rest of his life. Yes. Guys, it's Shayus. Don't know.
Maybe.
Laughing my anal off. Seamus definitely had red hair and went on WWE and fought for promise. Okay. Let's see. It says Bend Over is his cousin. 100%. Holy cow, it's real. Googled it. 61. 6'1", Seamus. Yeah.
Is that gonna be the new one?
Let's
6'1"?
see. 6'1". When they arrived on the scene, going to bed, I'll call it with this. You're down a deep hole. No joke.
Yeah. So was Ravenwood. Yeah.
So how was the torso stolen? Let's see. Yeah, that's definitely pronounced Seamus. Nope, it's Seamus. We're good with that.
Seamus. There's no H in that shit. I just saying.
This Seamus fishy.
Little Debbie. Bravo. That was a good one.
Anyways,
right,
congratulations to everybody that won. If you did not win, if you listen to the rest of this, you definitely won because Mr. Seamus came in a lot.
He came in hard at the end. He came in hard at the end.
Just saying.
All right, yeah. So great show, man. Great show.
It's Irish, Mick.
It might be. Steamus is just a good cousin of mine. I don't even know. Anyway, now congrats to our winners.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in for the first Meanwhile in Pennsylvania. It feels different, but it feels a lot the same. I like Charles's new bit of fucking with me while I'm trying to read. That's a lot of fun. But no, it was great, man. What a great episode, brother. And we say that a lot. I don't know if it's us or it's just we continue to have great fucking guests on. But either way, had an amazing time. Thank you, Deb. But no, amazing evening. Sean's a real deal, man, and just a great way to look at the world and really slow down and really reflect on what really matters. And he's that guy.
I will say that Sean hit a couple of deep spots with me tonight. It's a lot of things Seamus? That I want. Yeah, not as quite as deep as
I'm
Seamus.
Done now. I'm done now. There was one I couldn't help myself. I'll mute myself.
It's one of those things where a lot of what he talked about, I want to talk about with my family because I think what he has to say is important. Hope you guys liked it. It's not, we're trying to bring a lot of different things that we're involved in, a lot of things that we enjoy. We're trying to bring that to you guys. It's not everything is going to be cigar driven. But saying that, next week is cigar driven. Next week we have Pedro Gomez, the face. If there was any other face than Jonathan Drew with Drew Estate Cigars, it would be Pedro Gomez. And Pedro is going to be on with us next week. And I really, really hope we don't talk cigars because Pedro has a good story. He has a good story to share about how he got here, how he grew up in the industry, and what his life was like. So if you're tuning in to join us on a good cigar podcast next week, I hope you're disappointed. I want you to join in on a good podcast about a fantastic person who overcame a lot of shit to become the face of a cigar company. So Pedro is going to be our guest next week. And we currently technically only have a couple of people scheduled for the next couple of weeks. We got to get everybody else locked in. We'll do that over the next few weeks.
Got some big things coming, but stay tuned. But we are excited for next week. We try not to look too far ahead, man. We always look at who we got next.
You say that, but yet we tend up booking ourselves 3 or 4 months out. We don't look too far out. No, we look a year out.
It's kind of true, but no, we're always looking at the next big thing. But if we don't focus on the one thing that's in front of us, we're probably going to miss something great like tonight. So, like, just keep doing what we're doing. And, I love it, man.
Guys, there's only a few of you left in the chat right now. Do me a favor. Comment in the chat. Do me a favor. Comment, welcome home. Mick is finally back in Pennsylvania where he belongs. First podcast back in his home state. Put in a comment, welcome home. Mick, final words tonight before we close things out. Guys, I will say thanks for jumping on here. Love everybody being on here. Great podcast tonight. Can't wait for next week. All the podcasts coming in right now. Right now. Look at this. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome home. Even Honey Bunches of Oats is still on here. It says welcome home. Brother.
Thank you, girl.
Welcome home.
It's been an emotional week. It's been an emotional week, man. Much love. You've checked on me almost every day, man. And I feel it's what we do for each other. We become family. And I appreciate that. But man, all the work you do behind the scenes that don't get brought up enough, and I've said it many times. I appreciate everything you do, and I just hope I can bring that same back to you, man. We try to make this a great partnership, and I feel like we're doing a pretty great job at it. But man, amazing show. I knew it was going to be. We love Sean. Amazing episode. I appreciate everybody that stuck with us, and I can't wait to see how many people hear this in the future and be like, damn, what a great guy. And I hope it continues to grow and just people forward learn from the brilliance that is Sean Curtis. It's just was such a great show. So amazing. Can't wait to see what episode 3 brings with him with Doc. We'll get that book soon. But everybody out there, thanks for sticking with us. I know a couple weeks here were effed up by me being moving and a lot of moving pieces lately in my life. But I guess I'm home for a minute. So take time this week. Smoke a great cigar with someone you love, and we will catch you next Thursday. Peace.
The smoke is thick, the air is tight, cigars are lit, oh what a sight. Pour the whiskey, tequila too, this one's for Mick and Charles and you. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. Conversations deep, the stories fly. Ashes fall, with spirits high. The gas is rolling, the bitters flow. You've kept us burning, don't let it go. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you, we raise the song. From the flame to the end of the night, you're part of the glow, you're part of the light. Making Charles with a laugh and a grin. This flame burns bright cause you tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. The Real Smoke Podcast makes us all grin. You light us up, you keep us strong. Cheers to you.